All right, we're live. There you
go. Okay, so you're welcome to another RaddTitan chat. And today we are being joined. Thankfully, he's taken some time out of his very busy schedule to join us. So we have one of the many Hydra heads that run the monster that is XM Studios. We have Bryan Tan, one of the owners, who's graciously agreed to come on to the chat with us. Very late notice. We literally asked him yesterday to come on and then put a post up as soon as he agreed, saying we're going live with Bryan. So any questions? And I just want him to show you how seriously he took it. Because Bryan, what have you got in your hand there?
Well, I went through all the questions on the on your Facebook, and I think it's over 50 or 60 questions or so. But I've got them all down, and everything has an answer. So it's already here.
That's commitment to the cause, my brother. That's really good. We were just going to read them off as we went, and obviously we have the live questions going. So when Facebook starts up as well, we'll questions that come in that are reasonable, respectful, and polite, we will definitely put them to Bryan and see what we can get some answers on, some things that he can give, and hopefully he'll have some exclusive information for us and some shares. We've been begging and pleading on our knees, sending him naked screenshots, all sorts of things to try and get him to submit to our will. So thanks very much, Bryan, for being here, man. How are you, bro? How's things going?
Oh, things is well, as usual. It's really busy, especially the last few weeks or so. It's been the Chinese New Year season. So there's a lot of the factories are closed, but a lot of people on leave. So very few people in the office. But we're all back to full force again this week, and all ready to roll for rock and roll for 2018. So things are good.
Brilliant.
And
brilliant.
Thank you for having me here. By the way, it's a pleasure.
Thanks, man. It's a pleasure to have you on here. Well, first time, but it's always a pleasure to chat anyway.
Yeah.
So where do you want to start, George? I'm clicking away here. I'm doing little things in the background, so don't want that.
So yeah, with everything that's been going on recently and the bits and pieces that have been going, how's all the releases coming and things like that? You know, we've just seen that Carnage has just come out, and it's actually come out to quite a good response considering we were at the con. It wasn't the most popular piece at the con, but since the prototypes come out, it's very good reviews that it's been receiving. You happy with it?
Yeah, I mean, it's always been a bit nerve-wracking when you know, at the convention people say, hey, something's weird and all that, and we got to go back to the team and look at the production and everything. But now with a lot of pieces out there, and I see that in general, there's always going to be some bad people that doesn't like the stuff. But in general, I think a lot of the comments were positive, and it's a different take on it. And I'm happy with the results. I'm happy that a lot of collectors in hand actually feel is a lot different from looking at it from pictures. Just putting it together itself, the number of pieces, just the engineering itself, I think it's a different level. But in terms of the paint, personally, I would have preferred if it's slightly more matte. But I think the wet style works for some people as well.
I think for myself, I mean, I think there was like 22 tendrils that I counted at one point, and I'm like, holy shit, you know, I struggle with like putting 5 parts together, and that's like just like a body, a head, a legs, you know, body, a head, base, and 2 arms or something. I struggle with that, and doing the tendrils, I was like, yeah, this isn't fun. I literally did a unboxing, live unboxing, and then
it looks a little bit like the hair on your forehead, dude. The tendrils.
It does. It's like one of these tendrils. I just stuck it there. To have like a
Man of Steel, isn't it? You're trying to be Superman. Yeah. I was called Brock Lesnar yesterday, and Alex is trying to be Superman today. He's gelled his hair special.
I bet that Brock Lesnar comment got you fucking well hard, I bet.
Oh, I was creaming my pants. Don't you worry about that. I was delighted. That I basically wanted to make that guy moderator. I'd have put him an admin on our group. That's brownie points. You can't buy brownie points like that, bitch. The funny thing is, actually, Bryan, I was going to ask you. You do something very different to a lot of companies, which is your prototypes. Are good. They're decent prototypes that you put out for shows and stuff like that. But your production pieces are just so much better than the prototypes are. I mean, a lot of people are used to seeing these unbelievable prototypes and then getting a piece that's 30% or 40% worse than what they're looking at. I mean, that must be difficult, no? Trying to do that type of way round. I mean, it's definitely better for the collector, but it must be hard when you're trying to show things and the response isn't great, and it must be difficult for you to try and explain that. Oh, just wait, it'll be better.
Yeah, there's always been a challenge, right? I mean, you know, it's a well-known fact that XM, we don't take the best photographs of our products, and you're right. I think a lot of producers suffer from the fact that their master prototype looks really, really good. And most of the time, the factories, they can't follow through because you know, once you're not there overseeing them or telling them what to do or teaching them, they're just factory workers. It's just, oh, I just want to, you know, pack up and go back home. So I'm just going to finish this batch. So it takes a lot of effort to really kind of go down many times. You know, usually we do at least twice a month. And to personally supervise and work with the factory painters on how to paint. So it's been a huge challenge, but I think this is something that we would never ever you know, put less resources on. In fact, I was just looking at the numbers, and I was sharing with some of the VIPs of you know, people that were coming to talk to us about what we've been doing behind the scenes, and we actually spent around $600,000 to $700,000 last year, purely just on this extra work in ensuring that the final piece looks better or at least close to the prototype that we do. This is the amount that we've calculated based on the extra people that we put on the team out of the factory expenses, just to make sure that the piece you get is well supervised, well QC'd. So we realized that's a kind of a hidden cost, and we were kind of surprised. Oh, that's how much we spent. But we told ourselves that it's got to keep going, and then we've got to make sure that this process doesn't change, because we're really happy with what we have come up with so far, and we want to keep improving it.
Good man.
Yeah. Okay, so yeah, talking about that, I mean, that is a big thing as well. As I mean, you'll go to a convention, and I mean, when I was in when we were in Singapore, we spoke to, I think it was Ben actually, when we went through the Spider-Man stuff. We spoke to Ben about the Carnage, and that was a big thing where we said to Ben, like, don't like the color, I didn't like the masked head very well, the one where he's transforming,
morphing.
And Ben is just so like chilled out. He's just like, for ma, you know, you'll see the production. You know what XM's like. It's fine, you know. And yeah, I got one in. And that was the other thing as well, is Caleb as well. When Caleb was there, he was obviously he had the Scorpion and he had the Moon Knight, which are two
She-Thor,
like the pieces there. Was it She-Thor or Jane Foster? Yeah, one or the other. But then also, yeah, he had Carnage, and he was really, even though he had like these like really amazing pieces in the Scorpion and the Moon Knight, which are very, very well received. The main thing he kept on talking about was how upset he was with people's response to Carnage, and how they were like, don't like the paint, and he just remembered every little comment like that. Yeah, so that was quite funny from that.
Yeah. You know, we checked with him, and he's actually pretty happy. You know, he's happy with the results now, and I think he's happy because he's not single anymore. Every time on Facebook, he's in a relationship.
He's got one now.
Oh, good. Oh, I didn't know that. So yeah, but then again, that may take up some of his time, and it may dampen his creativity. You don't know. Let's hope
love doesn't dampen creativity. Love will help him. He'll make even better stuff now that he's a happy sculptor, man. They can do anything. Miserable ones, not so much.
Exactly, man. We're helping him do the Thor, right? The Celtic Thor. So we're gonna have him produce, and it's his own original stuff, and we want to help him. We want to help him promote his art. So yeah, I think he's in a happy place right now.
Yeah, I mean that's really his style. I mean, because he did the was it the Bat King, or is it? It's like a Viking Batman, but I think they call it Bat King.
Yeah, that's right.
He did what was the other one? He's done the Doom on Throne, and again, that's got like a very Celtic style to the throne. So that is sort of his. Oh, and that's the other one. Didn't he do Slain for Pop Culture Shock? I think he did Slain as well as coming out, and it's all that kind of style. So when I saw Thor, I didn't even see his name, and I was like, "That's Caleb. That's definitely Caleb."
Yeah. It does. It's got his name written all over it. What was I going to say, Brian? With that particular Thor, Is that coming under any type of Marvel type license, or is that just that's going to be something else?
Well, that's actually his own kind of mythology creation. It's based on
I was
the myth.
going to say, yeah.
Yeah, it's not based on any licenses. So what we're going to do is, instead of paying licenses to the big boys, we're going to pay royalties to the club, so that he makes money off it.
Yeah.
Oh man, that's what you're talking about. That's amazing. And I'm hearing, I don't know if I should. I'm hoping that this is true, but I'm hoping that it might be you might be doing something with Aaron Perez. I'm really hoping that that's a true story, because I'm a big fan of his work. So I'm hopeful that that's. I hear whispers everywhere in the dark. I'm really, really excited that happens. So,
someone said, Rob Newbury's commenting, and he goes, Bryan. So he says, Gio's starting to look Asian, and he goes, oh no, it's Bryan. But Gio does actually look a little.
No, wait, I do. I have the eyes, man. It's a special. It's a gift. Oh. I can see really well when it's sunny. It's a gift.
It's weird. They must have picked up the wrong baby, because I mean, like, yeah, his mum is like Greek Italian, and she's like really dark skinned, and then I guess, but your dad was, long hair, pale Scottish man. So yeah.
Yeah, but the milkman was really pale. That's why that's where it comes from.
All right, so I actually think we are already on Facebook. So normally, on YouTube. So normally everyone gets the YouTube for about 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
Before the Facebook kicks in, because it always goes wrong. So that's going on in about 30 seconds. So I mean, if we continue, I don't know what you want to do. Do you want to go through the questions, or do you want to go?
Are we live on Facebook now?
We're going to be about 20 seconds. We're going to be live. So I mean, that's usually.
Okay, so we'll wait until Facebook. We'll wait until Facebook comes in. I'm glad that now we've lubricated Bryan up, so he's ready. He's ready to go for the masses to come in and grab hold of him and ask him questions. So that's ready. So we'll go through. I think the best thing to do is maybe go through some of the questions when Facebook jumps in, and then we can start talking about what we're going to do going forward, and hopefully get some reveals and some shares going on. Facebook's just kicked in because I've seen it.
Yeah, Facebook's just kicked in, and then I just got a little thing pop up to say your emails come through, Bryan.
Oh, even cool. Better. So welcome everybody that's from Facebook that's now joining us. Now you can comment and ask the fabulous Bryan Tan, one of the owners from XM, any questions that you like. We've got some I put a post up yesterday telling everybody that Bryan was coming on the show today. So we've got loads of questions to run through. Bryan's he's taking it really seriously, bless him. So we're ready to go. So let's get on with some of the questions. Are you ready? Let's go.
I'll tell you what, if you want your question answered, you're better off to do it on the post that went up yesterday on RaddTitan. Or if it's a really important one that we don't cover, you can do it. So you can do it on the YouTube app as well. That would be probably better as well. But if it's a really important question you want answered, PM me. It's the best one on Facebook. So PM Alex Thomas on Facebook. With the Facebook Live, if I open it up, you're going to hear it kind of echoing. So I can't open it up.
Oh, good. So, hear me twice. I love it when I can hear me twice.
So I've already got all the questions and answers that I've prepared. So what I'll do is, even after this chat, I'm just gonna put it into like some kind of a Word document format, and I'll share it to you guys. You guys can post it up so people can go back and reference whatever was answered.
Yeah,
brilliant. All right, perfect, Bryan. Thanks, man. All right.
I'm downloading the pictures, so you two can talk. I'm downloading all the pictures.
Good. All right, so getting into some of the questions then, Bryan. What have we got first off the bat?
Okay, tell you what. How about we try this, right? I'll run through the questions here.
Yeah, yep.
And these are all the ones that I've taken down since maybe 5 p.m. my time today.
Yeah.
And if there's any live one, maybe we do the first session, which is all the pre-answered ones, and then the live ones, maybe after say 20 questions or so, you can ask me the live ones. How about that?
Yes. Do that. Okay, let's do it.
All right. So we would like to know what happened to Storm. Storm was planned for December. No word about her.
Yep.
Okay, quick answer is the online PO for Storm is scheduled to open within the next 1 to 2 months. Right. There's a little bit of delay because we were trying to find a way to link up the cape to the hands, because in the
ring.
The ring, yeah. So the difficulty we had was because It's not mixed media, so it's not made of cloth, so it's hard to do that because resin strings. So not every single piece might connect properly. So we found a way out. We figured a way to fix some kind of a golden kind of a hook that allows you to hook it to the hands. It's kind of like a ring. I think it works. So that's what we've been kind of like trying to improve along the way. So that's why it's a slight delay. But within the next 1 to 2 months, it will be out for PO. So that's the answer to that. Samurai Bane, same thing. PO in the next 2 to 3 months. So it's about a month away from Storm. White Magneto.
Is this the Bane? This is the Bane.
The Bane, yeah, the Samurai Bane from the Batman line.
The Samurai Bane. So we're expecting to see the PO for Storm and Bane to go up in the next couple of months.
Yeah, basically Storm is within the next 1 to 2 months, and Bane right after that, along with White Magneto as well. All right. And someone's asking about Spidey because we kind of reviewed it quite some time ago, and I think this is something we haven't shared with the public. A lot of people don't know, but we've made quite a fair bit of modifications to the Spider-Man statue. I think what some of the comments we got and feedback was that there's something a little bit off about the anatomy of Spider-Man. It looks a little bit strange from certain angles, and also that the base was overpowering the character. So we kind of did a more streamlined version of the base. We made it slightly smaller, slightly more compact, so that the whole shipping cost will be cheaper as well. And we kind of corrected a lot about Spider-Man's anatomy structure. So he's looking a lot more, I guess, in line with what the comments have coming in about. So we'll be showing. We're just waiting for the approval. So once it's approved, we will be showing the images sometime. I'll guess Q3 this year. So sometimes, I guess before SDGC, you definitely see the final version of Spider-Man.
That's brilliant. Will he be on show in September? The new revised version, he'll be there. Yeah,
he will be there. He will be there. I'm thinking we might even put the old one as comparison, so people see the amount of changes made to make it better.
I think one of the main questions about that was because you're reducing the size of Spider-Man, will the cost be dropped as well?
Well, he said that.
Yeah. Well, at the moment, the thing is we've reduced the size, but we haven't actually printed it out and compared the cost, because what we've done is we've added more details to the base as well. So it kind of balances off. The size is slightly smaller. It's not that much smaller, but it helps to decrease the footprint of the entire box. So it's cheaper shipping for most collectors. Now we've added a lot more details as well. So I think in a way it kind of balances out. But we can't tell whether the price will be reduced until we've got the physical product printed out and the factory to give us a revised quote. But as of now, we're trying to keep it the same by adding more things inside. In fact, I think now Spider-Man comes with 3 heads. So previously there was only a mask head and a kind of a battle damage unmasked head, right? So now we're going to give an extra head. We kind of paying tribute to the classic Golden Age Spider-Man, the smaller eyes one. And you get the one with the big eyes, a little bit more like McFarlane. So you get 2 kind of different Spider-Man feel about it, and we completely reworked the unmasked face. So
that's great.
Really good. So these are additional stuff we put in. So I think overall we'll try to balance it out to get the same price.
Yeah, because I think I got to agree with what people were saying, Brian. I love the Spider-Man. I did find in certain angles that he looked a bit chubby in sort of around the midriff, around the side. And I did find that the base was a little bit too busy with it seemed to have all of the Sinister Six elements and you could change them all over. I thought it was maybe a little bit too much myself. So I'm glad, man. I'm pleased. That's really good news, because I really love the swinging Spider-Man. I think that's really what I agree with people that should be the primary focus, because it's quite unique. And I love the fact that he's hanging on and swinging. It looks fantastic. So good job, man.
Thank you. I mean, the pictures should be revealed in, I think, in the next 1 or 2 months. So I think you get to see all the improvements. So we're happy to hear more feedback after that as well. Yeah.
Cool.
So that's Spider-Man. Someone's asking about Omega Raid. So Omega Raid, not so soon, right? Because Omega Raid is still kind of in the digital sky. So it's not even sent for print yet. I think there's a lot of things coming up. So we'll just say, as of now, we don't have a PO date plan for Omega Raid. First, it's too far ahead, the the approvals and all the processes. So there's no way we can give a accurate estimate. But we're definitely doing him.
Yeah, I want that piece.
Yeah,
that piece I want. I need to have that piece. So for me, that's a bit that question. I was hoping you'd cover that, because I'm one of them guys as well that's waiting to know roughly when that's going to start being either shown or seen, so that we can get into that.
I would say that we would very much be working towards having it displayed in STGC this September. So at least you get to see a painted prototype, or at least a printed prototype, and we might take orders at the convention. We might, but it depends. But you get to see it this year, definitely.
Great job, brilliant.
Shogun Batman was, we just revealed the Shogun Batman designs a couple of days ago. There's been a kind of an update as well. We've some guys did a poll and found out that most people preferred a real horse with armor versus a kind of a robotic cyborg horse, right? So we're making a bit of slight tweaks according to the feedback, and I think we'll be sharing that image again. We kind of had a sneak peek of the image just now on Facebook for maybe 15 minutes or so, and so far the people they prefer the new look. So I think we'll work towards the positive feedback coming in. So that's for Shogun Batman, right? The plan is with that Shogun Batman is for you're now going to make a real horse. So he's on the horse instead of a cybernetic, like mechanical horse. That's where you're going towards changing. Well, kind of, he's still going to be based on a mechanical horse, but the designs make it look more organic. It looks like it's more like a organic horse, yeah.
Someone's asking, who's the sculptor for the Shogun Batman?
Well, I can't say the name yet. We're still kind of like getting the paperwork done, because we're kind of like working out the artist roster in terms of the schedule. So I don't want to mention any names right now, but
it's just like being back in the SGC when we were there last year. Kept doing this to Ben. Who sculpted this? I'm not telling you.
If you watch no, that weren't the case with Ben. If you watch the tour where we went around the Spider-Man stuff, right? We would get Ben every single time. We would say to him, okay, so this is whatever piece, and he'll go through it and he'll go, yeah, this piece, we did this, it took us this long, and blah blah blah. Who sculpted it? And he'd be like, every single time. if you watch the video, it cuts every single time I ask him who the sculptor is. And he comes back and Ben will be like we'll cut to Ben go, like jump, and then Ben will go, oh yeah, the sculptor is Henry or wherever. Henry said, just be like, okay.
Well, the honest thing is there's this other thing, right? A lot of the sculptors we use are from overseas, and they got quite exotic names. Sometimes we can't get the names right as well.
No, I'm blaming Ben because Seng, we called Seng over. He knew absolutely everyone. So I'm blaming Ben.
No, I think he just can't pronounce the name, that's all.
No, I'm joking. All right, so
someone is also asking about Red Ranger.
Yeah,
the Power Rangers, right? So Power Rangers, it's going to be well, we actually showed it in a kind of a few conventions, right, in Shanghai last year, and I guess in Thailand as well. What happened was we're trying to kind of like finalize the packaging, because sometimes when we work with a new license, there are certain requirements of how the packaging should look like, and it's quite different from the XM usual style, which is more simplistic, right? So we've been trying to find a way to do a good balance, but the packaging is pretty much more or less been confirmed. So we'll be on schedule to ship it and actually release it end of this year. And also we're also going to show later as a teaser. I'll show you the second Ranger we're working on. It's been approved. It's the Pink Ranger. So we're gonna
cool.
Yeah, so we're gonna do the red, the pink, and then followed by the White Ranger. The White Ranger, I can't show the images because it's not approved yet, but at least you get to see the pink one. Looking pretty yeah. Okay, and this one is the important one. So people's asking what's happening with the Sentinel diorama. When is the estimated shipping, right? So the answer is end of this year, before Christmas, we intend to ship out at least the few batches of some of the characters first, because it can't come in one entire big box. the different characters will be shipped in different boxes, because what we've done is we make a few changes, right? Now, when you look at it in a convention, you see one mega gigantic piece. Now, one thing we've realized is that not everybody has a space to put the whole thing, right? So what we've done is we've designed different bases for each of the characters, so that if you can't put them all together, you could at least display them separately, right? And this has also allowed us to kind of think about, do we actually want to do a second Sentinel set? Because it is a really big product, right? So instead of doing a second Sentinel set, we're going to be doing the different teams, the different X-Men. So Wolverine's going to be in, Cyclops going to be in, and they will be sold as individual 1/6 scale individual pieces. And you can interchange this in the scene with some of the existing characters, or you can just piece them all together to form a mega big scene, right? So so that's kind of the reason why it's taking a bit longer, because it's a really complicated piece. It's probably one of the most ambitious projects we've embarked on, but the plan has been set. By end of this year, the first few batches of the characters will be shipped. That's the plan.
So so let me try and break this down then, Bryan. What you're saying is that the Sentinel will still be the same in regards to the big Sentinel, right? But all of the little pieces that go, all of the 1/6 characters that go on the Sentinel, you're planning on selling them. Are you planning on selling them as individual 1/6, or are you going to sell them in maybe pairs or stuff like that?
The original set will come in one entire set, because it's that way, right? It's the new editions like the Cyclops or Wolverine set we're going to issue. Instead of creating a different Sentinel set, we'll just create only the X-Men, and you could swap them into the current setup. Okay,
so so the next are like blue team or red team or any of that. You'll have the characters individually, and they will fit in some of the spaces as an alternative to the ones that you have.
Yes,
that was mentioned on the. I did an interview with you like in 2016, and I think that was mentioned on there about the Team B and switch outs for. I think they were saying about the base as well, parts to switch out on the base and things like that as well. But yeah. That's pretty cool.
Bryan said the characters will all come with bases. So if you can't fit them all on the diorama, they'll have their individual bases that you can then add to around the diorama, so you have more characters.
Yeah, and it's more flexible for you to kind of change the display area, so it doesn't have to be constricted to a specific size. Or you could just keep the Sentinel himself, because he comes in parts, right? If you can't display him, at least you can still display all the individual X-Men on a typical shelf. So it kind of make it more flexible for collectors in a way.
It's a great idea.
Wasn't there the idea that Colossus could hold Nimrod or something?
Yes, that's the idea. So by himself, if you don't want him to be holding the massive hand, the fist of the Sentinel, he could be holding a Nimrod. But that part we're still kind of engineering. You see, the difficult part, and a lot of people don't know, is that for polyresin, they are naturally cooled product. They're not like PVC, which is very accurate, which means that when we come to projects that has a lot of switch out and interchangeable characters, it's actually a very big engineering cost, because we need to keep trying and redoing and testing to make sure that all the gaps are filled, everything is stable and secure. So that's one of the reasons why this piece took such a long time. I don't think this piece is actually going to be kind of like a commercial, profitable project for us. Really, it's more like a dream project, like a concept that we want to bring out to the masses. So, but we are very confident that once the first collector sets everything up, he's gonna have a feeling like he's never had before. He's like,
well, yeah. I mean, I see that Sentinel in person, and I had a feeling like I'd never had before. So, and it weren't mine. But yeah, that is it. But okay, so in regards to dates and things for that, you're saying towards the end of the year. What is that it'll either that you can pre-order that you could buy that, or that it'll be revealed?
Shipping.
It
will be actually shipped out. Yes.
Wow. Okay, great. That's fantastic news. Great news.
Yeah, because it's been delayed for too long, and we want to make sure that at least collectors start collecting parts of it. Like at least the Colossus or even the Bishop. So at least they get these parts first, then they can display by themselves, and then as more and more pieces are ready, we ship them.
So let me ask you this then, Bryan. If this was obviously a massive undertaking from your team, has it changed the idea for you to do like the Justice League one with Darkseid? Has that changed that principle in any way, that the complications you've had with this project, has it going to affect the idea that you would do the Darkseid diorama, or has it just made you have a better understanding of what the project will entail next time?
Well, actually, it made us have a better understanding because of the way poly resin are heavy and the way they weigh, where stability is very important. The experience we took from trying to set up Sentinel set really helped us a lot when we were planning the positioning of the characters for Justice League. And that's kind of the reason why at the moment Justice League, the 3D Scout, is still undergoing readjustments and testing. We're still testing different setups to make sure that it's going to work better. So in general, engineering we've learned a lot from the Sentinel set, and we're applying what we've learned on the Justice League. Yeah.
Brilliant. I'm glad that that's not cancelled, because I really want to see that. That was an.
It's not cancelled.
That would great.
The new in-house guy, he loves coffee. His name is Paul Tan, and he's been kind of working really hard at looking at all the individual characters and adding a lot more details. I've just seen Darkseid, a work in progress, and I thought it was like a 1/3 scale kind of a product, but it looks really detailed for 6. I think a lot of people will be quite happy to see Darkseid, the classic one.
Yeah, me too.
All right. Oh, people are also asking about the Moon Knight, right? So Moon Knight estimated shipping will be Q3 this year. So that will be between say, June to August, June to August to September.
July, isn't it? July, August, September. Last the 3 months.
Yeah, kind of. It's around the timing. Yeah. You're right.
But you're saying maybe earlier. You're saying maybe June.
Maybe the first few batches. Usually we try to send advanced batches in 1 month before, but the majority of people will receive it from July, August, September.
Good, because I've got that piece. I can't wait for that.
Yeah, it's one of Caleb's good pieces as well. Okay, so regarding licensing, questions like any chance of XM ever getting a worldwide license for Marvel? It's the first question's been asked since the beginning of the company.
Yeah.
And we will always say this, right? Any chance? Yes, because we never say never. We have to dream big, and we'll keep trying. And we believe that one day we will get there. So that there will be a chance. We're not saying that it's there and we don't want it. We're saying that it's something we're working towards. Would it be possible for XM to have a worldwide license for the X-Men? It's the same thing. Marvel, X-Men, they're all together. Now, this one is about DC. Will any chance XM will be getting a quarter scale license for DC? Well, actually, the quarter scale license we have is for the Samurai line, which is under what they term it as the stylized creative line for Batman. But I guess this guy is asking more about the classic line.
Yes.
Right. Okay, so currently with the lineup that we've been working out with DC and WB, we're focusing on the stylized creative line for the 1/4. There are a lot of producers working on classic 1/4 scale Batmans. There's a lot of Batmans out there, right? So I think what we want to do is, instead of overcrowding the market, we will be focusing on the 1/6 scale DC line, because ever since Bowen left the scene, there's been kind of a gap in the 1/6 line, especially for DC, right? So and actually later on we'll be showing you guys sneak peeks of what we've been working on for the 1/6 line. I think there's another question a lot of people want to see. Now, once you see the 1/6 line concepts, you get a better understanding of where we're heading towards. And when do they get to see the DC 1/6 line? STGCC September, we'll be printing them out. You'll be seeing them, but only for this show for today, we'll be showing some of the sneak peeks.
Now, yay! Plug that shit.
Okay. This one is the any plan to get other licenses? Well, this one we can't jinx it, because there are confidentiality clauses that we can't reveal until the black and white is signed. So some of these things, as much as we want to share, we can't. We'll just say that yes, there will be new licenses, and we will probably be only able to reveal once the paperwork is done in the next couple of months. But what I'll say is that we are trying to kind of maybe diversify into the anime line. That's what I would say. Right.
Oh, okay. That's exciting.
Now, someone's asking, right? Well, that Bryan better be ready to explain why we've made Iron Fist, but not Power Man.
Yeah, no, explain that shit.
Actually, Power Man is on our list. Now, the thing is, there's a lot of, there was a kind of a period of time where people, the licensors were saying, you can't do X-Men. It's kind of on hold for a while. So now that we can do X-Men, we kind of reshifted all the X-Men up front so we can do more X-Men first. So he's kind of pushed backwards. I don't think he will be even in 2019, perhaps 2020 and beyond, right? But he's definitely on the list.
So it's a character you want to do, but you're focusing. You're trying to focus now on the X-Men because you did a lot of work on your X-Men line, and then basically it was stopped prematurely, and you put it to the background, focused on other things, and now you're getting back to neatening those up and trying to get them out.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, yes, that's exactly right.
Well, that was the question by little Brandon Guerrero, wasn't it? That one. That was Brandon Guerrero's question asking for Power. Yeah, Power Man. That's definitely him.
Oh man, I think he has. I think he looked good together with Iron Fist for sure. Now will XM get into the life-size bust scene? You know what? Honestly, we have a lot of things on our plate right now. It's unlikely unless we get more resources and grow faster as a company. Otherwise, at the moment with the manpower we have, it's unlikely we'll get into the life-size bust scene. But things may change in a couple of months or so, right? So never say never, right?
Never say never, yeah.
But there's no plans right now. They are got to be factual. Now, another one is, will XM do mythology lines? I mean, I would say Caleb's, Celtic Viking Thor is kind of based on that non-licensed style, is based on myth and legends. So apart from Thor, we might be working with Caleb on other characters. So I guess the answer is yes, unless they're talking about dragons and stuff like that. At the moment, nope.
But you teased like 2 years ago or so. You teased like was it Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs? That was like ages ago, though.
Oh yeah. Well, actually, that's not on the questions list, but I might just talk a little bit about that, right? Yeah, we wanted to come up with our own IP, and it's to do with the the fairy tale lines. And what we've done so far in the last 2 years is we worked with a writer. He's brilliant. He wrote us the full stories for 6 characters. And then we kind of look at ourselves and say, the market right now has a lot of statues. There's a lot of movies, and collectors are really finding it difficult to decide on what characters to buy. Now, if we just came out with statues of characters nobody knew, it's going to be hard. So what we decided to do was, instead of coming up with the statues or the products for the characters and the IP, we're going to focus a lot more on building this IP into a I'd say perhaps a web comic or a web little animation. Get people to know more about the world, the IP. And once people start giving us feedback and they get more in tune with the whole environment, then we might consider doing the statues. But for now, I think we have to
build the foundation then. Build the foundation, the story, so that people know what it is that they're getting into, as opposed to just some cool looking Red Riding Hood wolf hunter or something like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly, because look at the current market now. Everybody could just reach out to a 3D sculptor and get it printed and just create whatever they want. So we got to make sure that the story, the foundation is strong, and people is willing to invest and buy into it. That's what we're going to do now. Okay, so that is for the someone's asking, would we ever do like samurai or Japanese interpretations of the X-Men, like what we did for Batman line? From a license perspective, we only have the classic license to do the X-Men. We can't do what we call the creative style, and unlikely we'll do that in any time soon, because there's still a lot of X-Men to do, the classic ones. And perhaps after we run through every character, we might try something creative. But for now, there's still a lot to be done for the X-Men. So probably not start a new line to do something creative or Japanese about them. Okay, this one is quite a kind of a controversial one. Like, what's in the future for the Star Wars line? Will non-canon, expanded universe, or legends characters such as Darth Talon be considered? So
that sounds like Thor Gunderson, right off the top of my head. That sounds like Thor Gunderson.
Yeah, that's Thor Gunderson, all right. That's our boy, that is. That's our mate there.
Yeah, yeah. Well, there's a huge number of really interesting characters that that we don't see in the classic movies. Like Darth Talon is definitely one of them, right?
Malgus.
And all the thoughts, yeah, and you know, we kind of feel that these guys are quite cool. They've got really cool costume designs and stuff, and we are really keen to try them out. But ultimately, it's not really up to us. The reason is because there's still some gray area about what's canon and what's non-canon and what's to come. And you know, it's always you know, there's a lot of secrecy about the whole IP in general. So I think it looks like it will take a while to settle down before we kind of get a lot of information on the characters that we're allowed to do. Like for instance, I think I would want to do Grand Admiral Thrawn. You know, he's quite a cool guy. And I think he's appearing in some of the cartoons now. Admiral Thrawn. And he's, you know, he's a blue guy. He's a really smart guy, and he's in one of the good novels, right? And the thing is, it's not entirely clear which is non-canon or canon. So I think that's the reason why we haven't gone as fast into that as possible. Right? But it's going to take a while. But we definitely is keen to try.
So with that being said, then, so basically with your Star Wars license, is there any characters that you can hint towards that we haven't seen that you may think of touching, or that you want to at least, or you want to take on?
Give us a subtle hint and we'll try to guess.
Yeah, okay. The real answer, the honest answer is that there are. The thing is that we can't say anything because with Star Wars, it's very guarded. There are very strict rules about what we can share, what we can't. So unfortunately, when it comes to Star Wars, we have to play it safe. We can't say more than we're allowed to, right? So,
yeah, go on. Go.
So all I can say is that we will we're working towards releasing another Star Wars characters this year if everything goes well.
Brilliant. And obviously, it will be similar to how in the Singapore show last year, which was we didn't see anything, and then they were all of a sudden there. So it'll be the same type of thing, won't it? It'll all of a sudden, what you won't know until literally it's right in front of you. The statue will be painted, or the 3D render will be there. You'll get to see it all, and it'll be a big surprise that way.
Yeah, I mean, look, in the first year when we had the license, we had to build a little black box room, and you know, people can't take photographs. They got to go in one by one to see. We got to have people standing guard outside. It's a very secretive kind of IP, and I mean, cool in a way. But yeah, you're right, absolutely right. When you will see something suddenly appearing, or it's just all hidden in secrecy. Now are we planning to do little deals like not like the great ones like Sentinel versus X-Men, a huge piece, but more like just 1 versus 1, or you know, 2 versus 1 kind of diorama. We actually had plans, but you know, there's a lot of cool diorama sets out there by, you know, Sideshow Iron Studios. They're doing really good work, and I think they're ready. So what we're trying to do is come up with more new stuff, so there are more treasures for you guys. So at the moment, we will not be touching you know, like a 1 to 2, 1 versus 2, or 2 versus 3 at the moment. We're going to focus on the 1.4, the 1.6 for DC, and the new licenses that we've acquired. Right? Now,
you've got a lot on your plate to be doing.
Once you start to see the 1.6 DC that we're going to review, you know, in this chat, I think you start to get the idea of, so that's where we're going to spend a lot of our time on.
Yeah.
Okay, this one is interesting, right? Someone's asking, Stilt Man. Just Stilt Man with 3 exclamation marks. Stilt Man.
Who?
I don't know. I checked him out on Google. He's like a really tall, kind of like a armored dude with very long legs. I think he fights with Daredevil or something like that. No, look, dude.
Are you saying Steel Man?
Stilt.
So
he's on stilts and got long legs.
Yeah.
Fucking Stilt Man.
I don't know. That's why. But you know what? If he's really popular and we have like at least 400 to 500 people saying do it, we will do it, right?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
There you are. If you want it done, you better get your requests going. With, you know, go to XM and send them, bombard them with a petition. You need 500-600 people, and then you might have a piece.
Yes. Okay, and are we going to release a Carnage bust to go on Venom? we would like for this to happen. At the moment, we're giving some of the sculptors some time off to re-energize and take a break. So it won't be so soon. There's no timelines yet, but yes, we do have plans for that.
Cool.
Okay, upcoming product updates and teasers, right? Make them review Bumblebee. Can't do that right now.
Reveal Bumblebee.
You can't do that right now.
Sorry, I was going through movies today, right? And I was looking up, I was doing a post on all the movies coming out. I was actually looking up when Avengers was coming out because George and I were talking about it. And there's a Bumblebee movie coming out at the end of the year. I didn't even know that. So that might be why, if you're having issues with releasing things, it might be because they want you to release it in conjunction with that movie.
Well, actually, no. With Transformers, it's a bit more interesting, right? Because it's, I think I can share it. So,
yeah, cool.
We're the first guys that decided to do both the robot and the vehicle mode, right? To be together, so that when someone receives a robot, it comes to the vehicle mode, right? And I think the issue with that was I don't think anybody's ever done that before. So when we tried that, there were some questions about how's the vehicle gonna be displayed alongside the robot mode, because technically they didn't appear at the same time. So it was really about the base design, how we're going to connect them. That it tells a story. It doesn't mean that they're together in the same scene. So the base has been designed in a way that is kind of modular. We are able to create the base that can be utilized for Megatron, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, for everybody. And that was what took a while, but we've sorted out as of last December, and things are moving really fast right now. So we are intending that for Optimus Prime, the earliest we're expecting, right? Let's see, where did I put him under? It's probably on the first page. Where did it go? Where did it go? I've got like 6 pages.
Alex,
right?
While he's looking at that, you see if there's any questions that are running live, please.
No, I'm going. I've got them all listed here. I'm fucking prepped, man.
Good. I'm glad that Superman hairstyle isn't just for fucking show.
Someone's asking. They said they would love a quarter scale Luke riding on the Tauntaun. So that'd be a great. I know someone else did one though, but they did it 1/6. But I think that'd be quite cool.
From Empire.
Yeah.
You know what? I think I will get down to that soon. But anyway, for Optimus Prime, we are targeting the official PO and shipping within this year, as well as Bumblebee and Megatron. So we're aiming for 3 shipped, not just open PO here. There's going to be Megatron, there's going to be Grimlock and Soundwave as well. And I think the concepts for those will be at least released before SDGCC. So
wait a minute. So let's just cut. So you're saying Megatron? That's classic Megatron, right?
Yes.
So you got Megatron, Bumblebee, Lockjaw.
Not Lockjaw.
Who else? Grimlock. Grimlock.
Soundwave.
And who's the other one? And Soundwave. Wow, fuck. That's cool.
So so we should be able to kind of show most of them, if not all, by SDGCC. Maybe Soundwave might be next year or so, but definitely we're trying to push forward faster now that we've gotten the approvals or the bases sorted out, right? So all
amazing.
Let's see now.
All right, now let's wait. Take a minute. Take a breath, Brian. Take a breath. What we'll do now is we'll see if we've got anything live before Alex gets swamped with any of these questions. What do we have live questions, Mr.
Well, I'm just
Thomas?
looking because we're talking about Transformers. Let me just go through. So yeah, someone asked Optimus date, which you're looking up. Someone's saying Grimlock.
What we said around the end of the year.
All Hell Megatron. Is XM coming to WonderCon or Comic-Con this year? They're both in America, so I don't think you guys go over to America, do you?
You mean the San Diego one?
Yeah, someone's. I think Comic-Con they're talking about San Diego, and then WonderCon is down in LA as well. So, are you thinking of doing any cons in America in 2018?
Yeah, we are actually. We're thinking of going down to the New York Comic Con, NYCC.
Nice.
Yeah, it's being discussed right now. Excuse me. I hope that we'll be able to kind of tie it down, secure the deal, and if so, we should be seeing we should be attending the NYCC.
Just make sure on April the 1st, all of XM Studio stays away from a computer because people get upset with those things. But anyway, there are a few people here saying Stiltman. Yeah, do a Stiltman, but I have no fucking clue who Stiltman is. Someone else says, do they mean Stickman?
No, Stiltman. I had to look it up in Google. Stilt, yes.
I'll have to Google it now.
He actually looks really cool, right? Because he's got
really long. Now, fire the question.
I've got to see who this cunt is. Really? Is that it? Okay, that picture looks relatively. He's like about fucking 50 foot tall. Jesus. All right. Any update on the Hulk transformation release dates?
Well, that's a big question. That's a big question. We got a lot of that. Was asked a lot on the page. Something about the Hulk transformation that was asked a lot.
Yes. Okay. So the Hulk transformation, right? So what's kind of what's going on right now is that we've just finished the final tweaking of the details, and I think internally we're kind of like deciding, do we want to offer two options for collectors, because there's a lot of worry and concerns about display space right now at people's house. Like, I can't afford big bases anymore. So we're thinking we might want to issue a version with just the Hulk by himself, and another version that comes with Bruce Banner. Now, the one with Bruce Banner means it's going to be bigger box, heavier shipping and everything. And the one with just Hulk by itself will just be Hulk by itself, right? So it'll be cheaper shipping and all. So we're kind of working the details out right now. But I think in terms of sending it for print, getting the prototype shown, pretty much I'm quite confident to say that you guys will be able to see a fully printed prototype of the Hulk transformation piece. I think we're trying to debut it in the SDGC in September. So this year it will be out for sure.
By the way, that's Stiltman. You see
I
it?
can't see him. No.
Okay, well, let me see if I can click on me. All right, so if I go here, hold on a second. So that's Stiltman. Can you see it?
You can't see it, dude.
No.
No?
I'm glad you're here, Bryan, for this shit, because he always blames me when I can't see nothing. I'm glad you're here and your experience, what I have to go through, which is can you see it? And I'm going, no, what's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Don't worry. They can see it. They can see it on Facebook, but they won't be able to see it on YouTube. So it's the way the thing is.
Oh, that's good. You fucking elitist prick.
Let me see. Let me try to see. What's
there you go.
I can see it now. Yeah, I can see it now.
That's terrible. That's fucking awful. Yeah. Don't make that, Bryan. Don't make that, please.
Who was unafraid? Who was there to see him in the hour of the morning?
But it's not true, right? If I make him, we're gonna probably make the head switch out part to be a lamb, so you can use it as a standing lamb in a room.
Yeah. So I mean, there are some other images of him looking a bit cooler, but that was the first one that comes up, and that's like probably when he was out, and he's like, I am the Stiltman. What's this one? God, sorry, I just had to show that.
Any other live questions, Alex?
Oh no, George, he's got like Go Gadget arms as well.
Yeah, make it Inspector Gadget. That's a better idea. I like Inspector Gadget.
Yeah, gotta come with the music though.
It's him. He's getting fucked up by Spider-Man a lot in these pictures. Quite a lot actually. Right. So, any others? People asking you ask. Okay, someone's asking about Sideshow distribution. That's not really something. But when's Hulkbuster release? Well, we're asking about. They're asking is Sideshow. Are you going to be distributed through Sideshow? Which obviously is something that I don't know. It needs to go on behind the scenes, but. I don't know if you want to talk about
that. Well, yeah. I mean, we're open definitely. I mean, they are the biggest brother, and in terms of distribution network and an amount of resources and artists they have, they're the big boy. They're the biggest one, and if we could work with them, it would be great. But you know, it's something that we'll have to try. I think it's probably maybe when we get to the New York Comic Con, we might get a chance to talk to them or so. But yeah, but we're definitely open to that.
See, the thing is that I mean, we hear here all the time that fucking, was it like Prime One or something? They lose like a lot of money by distributing through. I mean, a lot. They give a lot of that percentage away. I can't personally. I can't see why you'd even bother your ass, because I mean, I'm just talking. I mean, you do all the work, all the heavy lifting, all of that shit, and then it's like, oh, we'll send your stuff, and you go, what is it? What's the percentage? Like 50%, 40%?
Well, wait.
I'm talking with Alex. Alex, no, don't say anything, Brian, just in case you know something I don't.
No. Allegedly, they pay 50% to distribute through Sideshow Prime One. Allegedly, I mean, this is just something I've read online. Read on a post.
50% away.
Yeah. But the thing is what you have to remember is Prime One, or that 50% is going to cover the licensing costs as well as the distribution costs. When someone like when you sell a product to a distributor anyway, you sell at like 60-70% anyway. So if that's factored in the licensing costs, 50% is kind of, no, it's high. It sounds high to the average person, but that is kind of what the costs would add up to anyway. So if you sell, well, no, because I mean, I think Pop Culture Shock told me that if they sell to distributors, it's like 60-70% of the actual price the distributor will buy it for. So if you've got someone big like Sideshow, they ain't going to pay normal distributor prices. They're going to get their own special rate. And you're factoring in the licensing cost. 50% then doesn't sell so bad. And then they're a massive company and they're getting your name out there. So overall, you know, that's why companies like Pop Culture Shock and all these other companies, they went through Sideshow and then they went away and tried to do their own thing. But companies like Pop Culture Shock are back because Sideshow gets some business. You know, Sideshow does their job. They distribute and they sell. So, you know, the average person will find, the average person who doesn't know about statues is going to know about Sideshow. They're going to wander onto Sideshow, scroll through it and go, holy shit, what the fuck is this? I didn't know there was a Street Fighter statue of X, Y, or Z. I never knew that happened. And so it's like, it's all factored in as like a advertising cost, distribution costs, licensing costs, and it's all factored into that 50%, if it is 50%. So to the average collector or whatever else, they're like, fuck me, 50% Sideshow, what a ripoff. But as a business, if it is factored in all, as the 50%, as all of that, then it sounds fair in a way. Anyway, that's my point. That's my side of it.
I think it's high, but that's all right. That's why we have potato, man. It's up to you. I guess the answer from you, Brian, is stay tuned, and if a deal can happen, you're open to it.
Yeah, I mean, deals like Alex say, they have different rates, sometimes in different countries even, and as long as it works out, and you know, we're definitely open to it, right? It's not like we're saying we don't ever want to work with anybody else. You know, we're not closed off in a way that we're not saying, hey, we're too high and mighty, we won't anybody else. I think it's about a business decision, right? If it's a better reach, and we can you know, work well with someone who can bring us further, why not? So yeah.
Good.
This one is interesting though. Someone wants to know what's happening with the Gladiator King Hawk concept, right? So this one, you know, we got Troy and David to help us sculpt it, and what's happening right now is because it's traditional hand sculpt. Most of our stuff, almost everything is done digital. This one is hand sculpt, right? So after hand sculpting, what we kind of learned was that there are, you know, you can't get certain texture or certain details you want as compared to, say, a digital piece, right? So what we've done is we've sent the whole piece to be 3D scanned. So now the whole thing is back in 3D format for us to add in minor details to kind of make it a little bit more smoothen out certain areas. So it's been a costly affair because we are actually using both options, hand sculpt and 3D enhancement, to get the best piece out. So yeah, I think that's the reason why it's been kind of slow. But as of the moment, it's at the 3D stage. So if I'll take, I would say definitely also before the end of this year, we should be able to see some reviews, at least some reviews and pictures of the final sculpt. Okay.
Is it true? Sorry, is it true that Troy sent you the Hulk and Customs took it for like 6 months and lost it, and then it all of a sudden fucking turned up, and you guys nearly scrapped the project and all this drama? Because again, this is through reading shit on Facebook, which I always read, and I'm quite gullible, so I always listen to it. So is that true?
That is true. It is true. We kind of we panicked, we freaked out actually, because he sent us the King Hulk in a package, and I think the logistic company somehow lost it. We couldn't track it until it was registered, so the whole piece just went missing, and we were all like freaking out and saying, but that's the original masterpiece that he sculpted, and it's all hand sculpted, so we don't have a 3D file or anything, right? And we're talking like, oh no, shit, we got to resculpt. And Troy was a real gentleman. He was like, apologies. He was like, oh, I didn't know that the shipping didn't get to you. So he was kind of like, I'm gonna try to resculpt the whole thing again from scratch. But luckily, I guess before that happened, we got a call from the logistics company, and they say, hey, we found the box, and I think it belongs to you. And we were like, oh god damn, we found it. So we were very, very at ease and relieved about the whole thing. But it happened, and yeah, it's the first time, and it was it was really scary for us.
Yeah, that's definitely a squeaky bum moment, now, isn't it? That's a terrifying time.
Yeah, we
lost the master sculpt.
Right in the room. Yeah, we went quite in a room. We were like looking at each other. It's like, what the fuck just happened, dude? It's just misplaced. And oh man, but okay, but you know, all's good now. But these are some of the interesting stuff that happens day to day, right? All right, we're actually getting quite good. Last 2 pages, and I'm gonna go towards a Quicksilver. You know, we've shown Quicksilver about 2-3 years back. So there's many things right now, and in terms of scheduling what's for PO, pretty much we're gonna put him on the back burner, because you know, when we created him, it was 3 to 4 years back, and I think with the way things have changed and things have progressed, we're kind of rethinking that might not be a good piece, you know, in today's standards. So we might either revisit him or it depends. We got too much.
That's a good idea. That's a very good idea, Brian. Because that's exactly what, you know. In fairness, it's the Sideshow of having the same thing, that they've had projects that have been years and years ago, and they've tried to release it there, and they get absolutely fucking shit on. So, you know, you're probably right. 3-4 years ago project, releasing it today by your own standards will just be labeled as the worst XM piece released or the laziest job. Do you understand what I mean? That's what you're going to get. That's how it will be received. So that's a really smart move. Either updating it or it's just a shame, because, you know, the work was done, the hours were put into it, the investment was there. But you know, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. So that's
I agree with that. So sorry, because I did see that piece, but I had a really funny story though. When I think it was in the actual office, it wasn't at the con, and Quicksilver was on. I think it was on Ben's desk, or it was on one of the desks. It was near where like the coffee machine was, or something like that. And we're chatting away in there, and there's like a little area where the coffee machine is. It's like where, yeah, you got Ben one side and Sang the other side. And I think Sang came out to chat to us, and literally like Quicksilver's sitting there, and Sang is not a light guy, you know, and he's got Quicksilver. Yeah, he's got Quicksilver, and he's like using it as like a prop, and he's like holding it and like resting his weight on Quicksilver, and I'm like, dude, that's the prototype, man. That's cost you like 15 grand or whatever to make. And he's like, it might have been Ben, because Ben's like a lot more like, when he answers, he's like very sort of snappy a bit. And he picks it up, and I think, no, solid piece. So I was banging around. I'm like, fuck me, man. Jesus.
I remember I was there. I was there, and Alex had this look in his eyes. He was like, what the fuck are you doing, Sing? Put it down. And
when we take things out, and we put things up, honestly, you would think they were all made of glass. The way that we try, well, Alex not so much. He'd be a bit careless, but we try and be a bit careful, you know. So it's really hard for us when people are really like, you know. It's the same when I had that discussion with Ben when I took Better Ray Bill home. Yeah. You know, I took the order because I was obviously there, you know, and it came out. I basically I got it from who was it? Windshire. Was it Windshire? Was it? I can't remember who it was.
Windshire dropped it to Derek, and then Derek.
Yeah, Windshire dropped it. And when I was saying to Ben, I was like, "Have you got fragile tape?" And he stood there and he looked at me with a deadpan look, and I said, "Have you got any fragile tape?" So you don't need it. And I was like, "It's getting on the fucking plane. I need some fragile tape. I want him to be careful." And he just turned around to me and was like, "Is this the first time you fucking bought XM?" Like that. And I was like, "Okay." I put my head down. I'd put my head down and was like, "Yeah, you're right. It'll be okay. You're right." I still had, I said, "Okay." I went to the airport. When I handed it in the desk, I said, "Have you got any fragile tape?" I put it on. There's a little strip that they give me. Well, fuck it. I'm not taking any chances.
It's good. Well, yeah. I mean, I remember the funny thing about the saying, and yeah, usually when I go with them to conventions, it's the same thing. The way they unpack, the way they just put it on the table and fix things up, and I was like, "Whoa, be careful, man." They were like, "Don't worry, it's not gonna break, it's solid," and they just keep making stuff, right? And now I'm just like that.
The same happened with in 2016. I was doing a little video of Boba Fett, and then Ben goes, "Oh, he took it out for me," and he pulled it, and he broke off one of the little aerials that's on the stand, and I was like, "Oh shit, dude, is it all right?" He goes, "It's fine. Yeah, we'll just glue it. You know, it's fine." And I'm like, "Dude," but you know, and he's just so like, he doesn't care, and I'm like, "Man, that must have cost you a lot of money." And with the Boba Fett, I'm pretty sure he goes, "Oh yeah, that was $17,000 US." But you know, I'm just like, dude, if a statue cost me $17,000 US with like, you know,
we'd leave it in the box.
All the production costs, I wouldn't touch it. I'd just leave it there. If I was to touch it, I'd wear gloves. You know, I'd hold my breath every time I was picking it up, and God, man.
Yeah, I was like that as well. But I've gotten used to it because I think we go to too many conventions that for them, because they actually used to repair and paint stuff as well. So not a problem. They just make sure it's fixed, and when it goes to the factory, all the production pieces will be fine. So yeah, it's so till today when I go to conventions with them, I still can't get to terms with how rough they are with statues, right? I still can't.
Well, I shit my pants a bit because I broke what did I break? I broke Storm. I broke something on Storm. I broke something on her shoulder, and then I was like, I went and got like I think it was Ben or Sang, and I was like, "Oh no, it's that dude with the glasses." You know, there was that guy with the glasses who doesn't speak English, who I think doesn't like me. He walks around like when you set up,
because you keep breaking all the shit. He has to fix it. That's why he don't like you.
Well, you know,
he just wants to get on with his job. He just wants to get on with his life, and you keep calling him over every 5 minutes, going, "Oh, I've broke your things. Oh, I've broke this."
I said to him, "I broke Storm," and he just looked at it and just goes, just when you walked off again. I'm like, okay, I'm not touching any because that was the thing as well as we went to the convention and we were like, "Hey guys, you want some help?" And we're expecting. No, it's fine. You guys go at breakfast, go, you know, come in later on and whatever. And you're like, yeah, come down at 9 o'clock in the morning or whatever it was. And we're like, oh shit, God damn it. And we actually,
I knew if you asked, I would just tell you to have a breakfast.
We turned up at 9:30, right? We were unloading all the fucking boxes. You didn't turn up until it was you or someone else. Like I was there with Stanley and someone else.
Bouncing in at 2 o'clock.
You came in later. Ben came in and Sang came in later, and then no, Sang was there, and then all the other guys who were visiting, they turned up at like 4 o'clock when it's all set up, and we're like, motherfuckers. And then we're talking to Caleb. Caleb, what you been up to today? Oh yeah, I went to the zoo, and we're like, oh, fuck you, Caleb.
It happens, dude. It happens.
All right, go on, Brian. What you got? Give me the next ones.
Next one is the. Will the statues for the new Nordic line by Caleb be less expensive because we don't have to pay any licensing fees? Well, we don't have to pay licensing fees, but what we're gonna do is pay a Caleb royalty fees because it's his creation, right? But it's gonna be cheaper than paying licensing fees. So I would say yes, it will be cheaper. It won't be as same price range as the typical licensed products.
A lot of work, though, Brian. A lot of work in that piece, man. I mean, just from the pictures that broke yesterday, I mean, it really does look like there's a lot of detail and stuff going on there. So it looks to be quite a complicated piece. It certainly doesn't look to be a very simple thing. That's for sure.
Oh, yeah, it's really detailed. So someone also wants to know what's happening with the samurai line of Harley Quinn, right? So we're kind of reworking that because we're not happy with what we've done so far. So it's going back to the drawing board. So, but you know, upcoming, you guys will be seeing Robin, Deathstroke. So, but we're definitely going to do Harley Quinn. So it's just that it's going to be pushed back a little bit.
Was it Deathstroke? I'm pretty sure before the con in 2017, Deathstroke was on the list before that. And then when we got there, it wasn't. It was taken. It was scrapped off the list, I think. So you could pre-order it like before we went. There was like someone released like a printout. I don't know where they got it from, but someone released one, and I was like, "Oh wow, Deathstroke! That's going to be fucking awesome! Can't wait to see that." We got there, and we got given like the price list, and Deathstroke wasn't on there, and we were like, "I'm sure I read Death." And I went back and looked at the version before, so you know. Just saying that went back to the drawing board and that was the delays, or?
Oh, but Deathstroke wasn't the one that went back to the drawing board. It was Harley Quinn.
Okay.
So Deathstroke moved, right? So Harley Quinn is the one that I think we had some kind of trouble because she, you know, we've done really good with Catwoman and Poison Ivy, right? And we just want to make sure that Harley Quinn is going to be as you know, on a high design side. So. Which is why we went through a few internal rounds, and we want to make sure we capture the right mix of mischievousness and craziness all together. So that's why.
Yeah, it's a hard one. It's a hard character. It's a hard balance. It's complicated. I get you.
Yeah, because you know the thing about female sculpts is that you know it's hard enough to make them look beautiful as in terms of the sculpt, but when you want to make them look crazy and beautiful, it's even harder, right? So yeah.
Yeah, normally my ex-girlfriends are crazy and not very attractive, so you know, the balance you can't get.
Well, you know that it's the balance that you can't get.
Damn it!
Brian, we can get them. We're fine.
That's it. Okay, so someone is asking about the One Punch Man Saitama. You guys watched that anime?
I've seen about the first 5 or 6 episodes. I watched the first one and I was a bit like, because I was like reading the subtitles. Sometimes the subtitles are pretty badly translated. So I wasn't sure if it was meant to be funny or not. And I'm like watching it laughing. And I'm like, I don't know if this is bad translation or if it's meant to be funny because it's like George hasn't seen it. So it is kind of like, it's a bit of a piss take to animes. So he's kind of like, he gets all these villains.
I don't watch these things because it's like Berserk and Guts and all this shit. If I watch it and I like it, then I got to buy the fucking piece. So I'm staying away. I'm not watching anything new. I'm already too invested in X-Men and fucking everything else. I've already want Omega Red and I already want everything else that's coming. You know what I mean? I need to be smart.
For a good laugh, treat it as comedy. Check out One Punch Man because it's only like 12 episodes. Yeah, and it's like 24 minutes per episode. It's really short, but it's really, really funny and it's awesome and it's crazy in a way. Yeah, just check it out. You don't have to buy
you get these villains and they're basically they'll like this big fucking demon guy will come out and he'll go, you know, mankind is destroying the earth and I'm here. I'm formed by Mother Nature's anger and blah blah blah, and I'm here to kill all mankind. And you know, what's your problem? And looks down at One Punch Man and like, why are you here? And or why are you so powerful or something? And he goes, well, one day I woke up and I decided that I was going to do 100 sit-ups, 100 press-ups, and I was going to run 5 miles, 5K a day, and I just got really strong. You know, this is something really stupid, but
yeah. No, I'm not sold.
It's all good fun. Okay. So the last 5 questions, right? The what's up with the Weapon X teeth? Was it not the same as the one on the Proto, right? Was it rushed so that we can stick with calendar? So that's a bit funny to say that. Now, first of all, I mean, I think if you know XM, we will never compromise on quality just to rush to make the timeline. In fact, we would rather delay stuff than to release things that is not done well. So now I think what is more like a kind of a creative choice for us was that he's kind of submerged in sterile liquid and he's just broken out. So he's not going to be battle damage or dirty. He's going to be quite clean with wet surfaces. That's the reason why things he's looking a bit more clean than he's having a lot of battle damage feel to it. That's the reason why his teeth is not weathered or dirty. That's just about it. It's not that we rushed it and we couldn't make it.
Just concept. It's just concept. It's concept design.
So did you say teeth?
Teeth, yes. So I think some comments was that his teeth look too pearly white, that it should be more dirty, right? And we're like,
but they bleach it when he's in the chamber, no? They like bleach it with guards.
Well, no, isn't everything adamantium apart from his teeth? I thought, oh no.
Yeah, but we thought it was quite a unique kind of observation, right? But no, it's not, because we rushed, and that's why we made everything else look good except the teeth, right? We just never thought of making the teeth, dirty. Yeah, that's all. Right. Oh, this one is kind of a very strong statement, right? Why are you doing recasts?
No. Good. I'm glad that this come up, because I was going to ask. This is the we can always rely on old Chaff Serious to throw some sort of fucking rhino in amongst where children play, but so this is the allegation that the XM Studios are involved or have something to do with the fact that some of your pieces are recasted. Some statements whispered in the dark are that you're behind that you make your own pieces, certainly the popular ones, and then sell them off yourselves. That's a good one. Let's have a hear of this.
It's a good one, right? And what we've done was I've posted a official statement on the website and Facebook, I think 2 days ago. I think it's very clear cut and self-explanatory why there are edition sizes like 1007 out of 999 on the market. But so I would ask people, if you want to see the full kind of explanation, you can go to our website. It's there for the public to read. But the short version for this show is, no, we don't do recasts. Very simple reason why. Now, if you take a look at our website currently, we have about 56 products. Let's say an average of 700 ES per piece, right? Or across 56, there's about 40,000 pieces of statues. Now, how many have you seen floating around that is like 1001 or 5 above? I don't know, 5, 6 pieces out of 40,000 pieces. I mean, we're not going to make that 5, 6 pieces extra money just to put our reputation down and get in trouble with the licensors. And
but you're covering two things now, Brian. You're covering two things. The first thing is the recast thing, which is not the same as the edition size. The edition size thing that you're getting into now was that thing that Leo recently blew up on one of his pages and brought loads of people into his argument and caused all sorts of drama, which basically was that there are pictures circulating that I'm just clarifying this, is that if you have an edition size of 999, there are a handful, probably like I think 3 I've seen pictures where the base and the box number is above that 999 edition size. That above, so it's like 1007 of a 999. So obviously it's gone above. Now, what you have been accused of by some certain person losing his rag and going crazy was that you are directly making more of your pieces and then selling them. It's not recasted. That's not the recast argument. That's just that your edition, that's just that you make more than your stated edition size and you are selling these pieces extra once the pieces come out and they're popular and you're making profit from those pieces. That's what the allegation is. But what is the reason that there are in existence any numbers above the 999?
Well, so all producers have to do this, and not just us, right? Is that when we make commercially sellable pieces, say 999, we always have to create maybe 20 to 25, and in our cases, the max was maybe 35 pieces of what we samples, right? Now, these are samples are also known as approval pieces, or some people call them artist proofs. The reason being because these pieces, these 35 pieces, usually a good number of them are sent to the licensors to safekeep as a reference, as a master approval for them to keep on. So we'll send a few over to the licensor in this country, a few to that country, and then some of the officers, licensors will want some to display in their offices as well. So these are what we call gifts versions, not meant for sale. These are all
company gifts.
It's like samples or artist proof, you call it, right? And also these are the same pieces that we give to the artists who work on them. So Hive Studios get a lot of them, and artists, the sculptors get them. So these are not the commercial numbered editions out of the 999. These are stuff that we don't sell. Now, it's very important to say why. Because we don't sell means that we don't make royalty or you don't make money off these pieces. These are at our cost. We make them and we give them away. So we can't sell them. If we sell them legally, we are we're basically going against our contractual obligations, because we can't be selling stuff and making money and not reporting royalties to the licensor. So there's no reason why we will make extra pieces like 5 or 4, floating around and just for making 5 pieces of extra dough, risk ourselves getting shut down. So it's not something we'll do.
But also with this argument here, what you also can't do is you can't control what those company gifts that you give away, where they end up, and if they get sold, because they can end up getting sold by these artists. So I mean, I saw a post where you actually gave, was it Rob Liefeld you gave a cable to?
Yeah, we gave him a cable as well. Yeah.
So like stuff like that. So maybe
you can't stop him then auctioning that off for some reason.
You can't. Yeah, you have no power of where those. If they do. Yeah, if they do end up on the market or for sale, that's something that's beyond your control, I'm guessing, right? You can't recall it or say, oh, you can't sell it. I don't know how you would be able to control that.
We can't. And for example, on the website, we posted a picture of 1007 out of 999 is given to Fu Ziwei. He's the guy who art directed and came up with the concept for Cable. So he is holding the piece in his hand, showing he's got the number edition. I mean, if 5 years down the road, he wants to sell it. Maybe he doesn't have space. It's up to him. It's his, right? We can't stop him from selling it. But what's important is that XM doesn't make a profit out of it. We gave it to him. And it's.
I also, though, I have to tell you, Bryan. I also, there is part of me. Your explanation is spotless. I completely understand that. Yeah, I get it. I'm, fine. I really don't think there should be any number above 999 in any existence. I understand that what I like, and I just want to make this statement abundantly clear, what I like is that you have all of your pieces accounted for and numbered. I like that, as opposed to the bullshit AP sample where all the other companies don't have any numbers and they can release as many as they want. It could be hundreds. You'll never know, how many there are. Because there could be hundreds and hundreds, it could be thousands for all anybody would know. But I still think that, there should never be a number above the edition size in existence. Personally, I would prefer to see, and I believe you put this on your thing. I spoke to Sang about this, but I'm glad. But on the website, I think you said you're going to be looking into changing how it's written from now on, just to settle the confusion. I would like to see either sample or S1 of 35 or whatever it is, just in one line next to the 999, so it's clear, as opposed to 1007 of 1007 of 999. Only because, and this is sad, this is what's really sad about it, is that no one else would have to do this but you. Sideshow wouldn't have to do this. Pop Culture Shock wouldn't have to do it. You're going to have to do it, though, because you're the one where there's a select group of people who have an issue with your company in general and are basically saying these things. And this is the problem, that you have to counter. You have to work harder than everybody else to make sure that your stuff is cleaner than everybody else's, because it's all, you used to do recast stuff and you recast your statues and you make more. And I think half of this drama, actually, I think the difficult thing is because there is always, because of your license restrictions, because there are people selling your items, people always will be like, blaming you at the other end of it, rather than looking at what exactly is going on. I think that's really difficult on your part,
Yeah. Well, first of all, I agree with you that on hindsight, numbering above, it's not a great way to put it. But at the same time, people saying that we wouldn't be dumb enough to put it above the number just to show people we're doing more, right? But having said that, I think one of the current things we're thinking of doing is to for the sample pieces, we're going to cancel away the 999. We're going to write something like sample 1 out of something. So at least people, once they receive it, the first question that comes to their mind isn't, why is this edition size larger than the ES? At least that solves the problems. So we're going to try that and see if it solves the problem. Now, if it doesn't, and the same, there's still confusion, we'll look for a better way.
I think that's the best way, though, Bryan. I think it will. I think it will. I think when you put sample or even AP 1 of whatever you want to do, or even company gift 1 of 35, however you write it, just handwritten next to the 999, I really think it will sort of sort that out, because the big conspiracy is you're making, how high do those numbers go? Is it 1,337 of 999? That's the problem, you see. Now, I know there's only a couple of pictures that are circulating of numbers that are only slightly above the edition size, and you have come on and been very honest and said you make 35 extra pieces above the edition size, and it goes here, then everywhere else, which I appreciate. The recast argument is a different one. The recast argument is that a lot of your pieces, I don't think it's just you, though, to be honest. I think it's it's a little bit unfair. But, Ghost Rider comes out, it's out for a little while, it gets really popular, and all of a sudden you've got recasts that are starting to be made and shown. You understand? So people are assuming that, how has this happened? I mean, what can you say about how you're protecting your molds or trying to secure them so they can't make these pieces? Or can you even stop it? Is it even possible to stop them from doing it? Because I know people that were in Prague that we found out recently that they have a repair place, and they basically say, send your statue in for repair, and they take the piece, they repair it, and then they were taking molds of the piece and making recasts of it. So, I mean, how can you even stop that from happening? Is there a way?
There's actually no way, because there's an even later recent technology we understood is you could buy an attachment, put it to your mobile phone, you could enter a convention, and you could 3D scan the physical piece in front of you, then take the file back, do some adjustments, and you can print it. So it's the technology is going to catch up, right? There's 3D printers you can buy in the house, you can print stuff yourself. The pirates, all they really need is one thing: the 3D file, which they can either get from scanning the product or casting a mold, or sometimes maybe they know the people in the factory process. Maybe some internal bribes, and people just pass, I'll give you 3D file, you take it all and do what you want with it. It's almost impossible to govern or catch these people, because you don't know who they are. There are hundreds of people in the factory. So what we can try to do on our end is to make sure that when we make these pieces, we generate the codes, the security codes in Singapore, so the factories don't have it. Now, only this number of people who registered will know this is a truly authentic one. The second thing we do is we make sure every piece is not just as per you get from factory. Every piece is brought up to the XMQC workshop, separate from the factory, and every single piece is taken out and touched up. So in a way, we don't just ship stuff straight out the factory. Every single piece is hand touched and touched up by XM team. So in a way, you will know that the ones that with the sticker, with the secret code, and also the paint touch-ups, those will be the real authentic and the highest quality available XM statues. The other recast you get, usually what they do is they will just take an original piece, cut a mold of it, and then just reproduce. But what you usually get is a slightly smaller piece. It's maybe about 3% smaller, and you lose a lot of the details. So what they do is they try to maybe just add some texture and sculpt to cover it up. But you're never going to get the original quality from the master mold. So that's one way we try to protect it. I would say two things. One, I know we found out only recently that the cable, for example, has a reflective eye that when you shine a light on it and then turn the light off, it will glow. And the recast, you did that so that the recasted pieces, if they were made, they wouldn't have that. They wouldn't be able to do that. You did that all in-house. And I would say that you are one of the only companies that actually does have a code on your piece. I mean, we are seeing right now the Thanos Marquette exclusive that's just recently come out from Sideshow, which was a huge hit, a masterful piece. That is now being recasted. So that, you know what I mean? And there's nothing to protect you from that. That piece hasn't got any numbers on the base. It hasn't got anywhere where you can register it. So I guess,
you know, there is an argument there. It's not just XM pieces that are being recasted. The original PCS Akuma has been recasted numerous times. There's the Doom has been done. The Thanos has been done. Any company that releases hits does have a tendency that they get recasted and made. So I do understand what you're saying.
Yeah, and you know what? This is a good point, because if you think about it, right, it's not easy at all. It's a lot of struggle, a lot of hard work for us to get a license, you know, to be on good terms with the licensors, to get to where we are. It doesn't make sense for us to endanger our own rice bowls by making a couple of recasts. It's just, why would you do that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just no reason we'll do that. And so it's a bit ridiculous that we would even do that. Because it's been such a hard work getting to where we are. It's just no reason why we'll do that. So and we create codes to protect ourselves. It'll be a bit silly if we issue some recasts without codes, you know. So it's obviously their recast. So this recast, it's not just us, like you said. They recast everything from Transformers to PVC toys. These pirates do everything. So
anything that sells, anything that makes money on the secondary market seems to come out later.
Exactly.
Your pieces that come out that stay at retail value don't seem to do that. There is another question though. This is what I also wanted to ask you, which again is the whisper right. in the dark. Right. With people get a little bit concerned about the fact that, you know, your pieces, they want to have some form of value later on. So like certain pieces are selling for below retail by certain resellers. Right. Now, that I think that is quite dangerous to your brand. Personally, I think it's a very dangerous move, because once a piece, I'll just give you an example. If I'm selling Weapon X and the hype for Weapon X is huge, and I'm selling it for 2,000 Singapore dollars, and then the piece comes out and I've got leftover stock, and you know I've ordered too much because I guaranteed the hype is going to be big, and I've sold 20 of them, but I've got 30 of them. And then the last 10 I sell for under retail value. It appears on the aftermarket, it looks like all of a sudden Weapon X was here, and then the value has plummeted and dropped. So there's no future
depreciation value
of the piece is huge. And half of this is because the resellers are hyping prices so high and then dropping them to below retail when they're left over stock. So it looks like in 2 months, Weapon X has gone from being a 2,000 Singapore, 3,000 Singapore dollars to 1,000 Singapore dollars, or 800, 900, 700. You understand what I mean? That is really dangerous. And that is something that, you know, I know that certain people have been genuinely hugely concerned. A lot of people actually even selling some of their products of XM because they're scared that they're going to lose so much money in the future. Yeah. What do you have to say about that? Is there anything planned with that?
Yeah, well, actually, what you've described, it's kind of a natural phenomenon with a lot of things, not just statues. With stocks, with anything that has demand and supply, has the same rules apply. Once you have demand that is, you know, oversupply, which is, for example, you have undersupply of a product and there's a lot more demand for it, then naturally the value rises, right? For example, having water in the desert, the water is worth a lot of money compared to you're going to a swimming pool. Now, the thing with this phenomenon is that, like you said, some resellers, they may be a little bit more greedy. They make business decisions like an investment. They say, I think this piece is going to be popular, so I'm going to order more. I'm going to indent more. But then something happens. The market is not as good. So they think, you know what? I want to get rid of the stock. I need some cash flow. So I'm just going to, you know, suffer a little bit on my profit margin and I start it lower. So these resellers, we try to avoid this by, first of all, working and picking only a few trusted resellers that we work with, which is why you don't see that we have a lot of official distributors, right? So the real ones making the trouble, or what we call flippers. Flippers are the term we give to for people who just, you know, buy 2 pieces, 3 pieces, and they try to then flip, you know, the next day high margins, and then if they don't get what they want, then they find they just lower. Because they get a bit of discount locally anyway, right? So these flippers tend to do that and go with the market flow. Now, for us, what we can do is this, right? We can't govern or manage, control the prices private collectors buy and sell. Because today, if your room is full, you have no other place to put stuff, and you are desperately wanting space, you might be willing to let go the lower rate. And we can't step in to say anything about that. Now, what we will do is that now we've started this, we call it the made-to-order kind of concept. We're still testing out with the distributors. What we want to do is saying, guys, don't over-order. The market is full right now. There's a lot of products. There's a lot of custom stuff. Don't kill yourself, right? Now, do it like a Kickstarter campaign. We tell you this is the product. We give the images. Get only confirm orders from people you know that's going to buy from you, and give us those exact numbers. Do not order above what you're able to sell. Do not hoard anything. This is not the time to hoard stuff. This is time to create the right amount of stuff at the right demand. Now, if they do this and this reseller starts, contributing and cooperating with us, then we end up having lesser ES, because that's the real numbers that people are asking for. So we stop guessing the ES. We stop saying, we can make 2,000 and sell, so it's just going to make 2,000. So right now we're going to wait for people who's buying, who's making commitment to say, here's my deposit money, I'm committed, we'll make a piece for you. So it's really made to order. Now, this will kind of help combat the problem of us having too many out there, too much products, and affecting the market, right? So that's the first thing we're going to do, right? The second thing we're going to do is, if you notice, a lot of these pieces hit by the what we call secondary undervalue price are what we call the B listers, the C listers even. Now, take Voucher for example. Voucher, from a scalp perspective, Voucher is very well done. If you've seen a piece, you'll know that it's a good piece. But due to the collecting space and needs of everybody, who would you rather have, a Batman or a Voucher? You would choose Batman.
We had this discussion, me and Alex. If you watch our review of the XM Vulture, we actually say on the review that it was the best constructed and best executed piece of I think it was last year. Yeah, it was. Yeah. I mean, even more so actually, over Cable, over Venom, even over Ghost Rider. It is a flawless piece. But you're right, it is a B.
What happened with Vulture was I managed to get a good trade in, and it was like a trade for I got Lizard, which is the piece I wanted, and then I got Vulture kind of thrown in. So I was like, all right, I'll take Vulture as well. But I had no intention of. I didn't think I'd like it. I had every intention to get rid of it. I get it in, and we unboxed it there to make sure it was okay, and the initial wow factor of Vulture was much more than Lizard, which was the piece I wanted. Lizard stayed in my collection because I can display it and I got more attachment to the character. But Vulture, it's just too big. It's just I can't give it that much real estate. That piece, the character doesn't want that much space. Unless I had like a big display where I can kind of have his wings over Spider-Man or something like that. But I don't have that, so I couldn't keep it, unfortunately. But yeah, that was the point. That it is an amazing piece.
Right. If you only got a limited amount of space, ultimately you try to keep all the A-listers, the Thanos, the Magnetos, the Cyclops, the Spider-Mans, and the B-listers got to move over time, right? And I think that's the problem, right? We've always liked to hear feedback from community, and a lot of people are saying, hey, the B listers, they don't get love, the C listers, they don't get love. So we try to do what we feel that sure, if no one's doing Voucher, we'll give it a go. I mean, since the 6th, commercially, I think it's a risk because they're not ever going to be as popular as Iron Man, right? But there's like 50 Iron Mans out there, right? So we say, well, let's just do something what the market wants, and we do it. Now, we don't raise the ES that high. We keep it low, like 500 pieces or 700 pieces. But ultimately, still, when the market is flooded, the B-lister characters get hits more than an A-lister character. That's just a fact. Yeah. So because of that, which is leading to my point, is that the second thing that we're going to do to try to help, maintain and balance the secondary market is that we're going to do a balance of more A-listers and lesser B-listers. We're not going to say we're not doing B-listers because we still love the B-listers. We're just going to do a better balance. So if you notice, last year we did a lot more B-listers and A-listers. So this year we're going to do a little bit of swap, something like maybe 8 A-listers, 2 to 3 B-listers. So this means these B-listers becomes more rare and they keep their value better. So that's what we're going to do to also try to balance of the market. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing is though is that it's true with most people, isn't it? Is that you can't please everybody, because for me personally, you know, me and Alex will both say this. Me and Alex have been waiting for you for XM as a company for years, because we were sick of fucking 20 Hulks and 20 Iron Mans and 20 Captain Americas. Fucking sick. I don't want to see any more. Genuinely, I don't. I want to see the pieces that fill in the gaps of my collection. You know, there's no good having a Spider-Man, 20 Spider-Mans, when you've got one fucking Venom and you don't like the Venom. It's a problem, you see? And I don't care if it sells for $2,000 or $3,000 or $5. I don't care. I want the Venom that I want, and you made that Venom for me. So, thank you. But you understand my point of what I'm trying to say. By people, because I don't think this is your problem. That's the sad thing. I'm asking you this question. I don't think it's your problem that the resellers are selling it for lower. That's not your business. As far, I mean, I appreciate that you're trying to fix it and you're trying to help it, but I don't think it's your problem. I don't think it's something that really it's your responsibility to have to deal with. Once something comes out of your store and you've sold it and it's gone, what that person does with it after you is not nobody's business but theirs. And I mean, I know that other people be like, oh well, there's no value, there's blah 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 blah. But by that happening, it's now affecting the fact that you're now going to make less B characters for people. You see what I mean? You see what's happening? It's affected. It's affected things now, and I just hope that you still give love. I mean, I'm really glad, because in fairness, your X-Men line is starting to go now, and you've shown Omega Red. Now, Omega Red is not an A-list character, but he is a really important B-list one. So I'm glad that that's happening, because I don't want, you know, I've got pieces in my collection, like I have the Electro, which for me is one of the best Spider-Man pieces ever made by anybody. So, you know, I still want to see those B and C people coming out. So I hope that you don't give up on them completely and try and keep them going, because it's very important, because what you do is a service. You know, for all the Captain Americas that come out, we need more of the, you know, the other characters. For every Iron Man, we need a Mandarin. You know what I mean? We need, you know, how many fucking Iron Mans are you going to have before a Mandarin comes out? And I know that no one's going to make a Mandarin unless you make it.
Yeah. No, look, the thing is, like I said, we will never stop making B-listers, right? It's just more of a balancing act. So we're going to do, and as we always react to the market, so we're not going to say this is the next plan for the next 5 years. What we're going to do is try it for this year and adjust our strategy every quarter. And the only way we can do that is to monitor the market, you know, get to know collectors better. But I can promise you, we will continue to do B-listers. Just that we're going to do a bit more balancing, a little bit more A, a little bit less B. Yeah. But we might do Stiltman though.
So no, don't do Stiltman. That's a fucking E-lister. That's an E-lister.
If you could do any C-list characters, do me a doppelganger Spider-Man. That's what you need to do.
Yes, you are.
I wanted to do that. Actually, I thought he was pretty cool. Doppelganger, yeah, he's good. I think
Doppelganger is a main character with all the arms and the spiky claws
from Maximum Carnage. If you do the classic version, he's like Maximum Carnage. He's got the sharp teeth. He's got kind of like fly eyes, and he's got like
fly eyes. Yeah,
and he's dumb as fuck. He's like he's stupid, but he's pretty cool. He's basically
well, he looks creepy. I like the design. Yeah, no, actually, I was thinking of doing him.
I think it's like Shriek or something, because that's his, like, he fancies Shriek, and he like does everything she says, but Shriek in Maximum Carnage is basically with Carnage. So he keeps on trying to attack Carnage all the time, even though he's on the same side. But he's quite
yeah, but I mean, that's what I mean. Those are the type of characters that would never see the light of day. They would never see the light of day. They would never be made if it wasn't for you.
Try and make it about 6.
And that's what you need in a collection, because it's important.
Yeah. It's important. A bit closer towards the end of the year though, because I ain't got a job at the moment. So I need to I just bought Scorpion, even though I didn't want to. And all my other stuff just came in saying this is ready, and I'm like, oh fuck's sake. So yeah.
Let's go to the last.
And then I bought Magneto. Apparently, we're in bed with XM. I just read a post. Apparently, RaddTitan, you're in bed with XM.
Who posted? Who posted that?
Oh, that Leo DeSantos cunt is back and posted loads of shit on his wall again. So
we're in bed now. All right, yeah. I mean, I find that I like the fact that, you know, accusations and stuff were made, and we had the good grace to actually come on and put the XM, one of the XM owners, under a severe bit of pressure. Yet we're the ones that we're the only ones who got him on and asking him the questions, and yet we're the ones who have the agenda. I love that. You got to love that. It's funny though, because I read the comment actually yesterday on Statue Collectors where somebody said that the hate that XM gets is because the people that like XM are the ones that are hated. So because we like them, they're the ones that get this shit. So really, Brian, this is all my fault. This is all mine and Alex's fault amongst some others. Yeah. So sorry, man.
No worries. But you know, I'm kind of lacking a new term. It's being thrown around a lot. It's you're an XM big rider.
Yeah.
Oh yes. Yeah. Proudly. Don't worry. Listen, at the end of the day, man, you know, we always try and say that it's never really about a company. It's just about what they make, and that's what it should always be about. For me, the best collections that I've ever seen, they have some Sideshow, some Pop Culture Shock, some XM, some customs. They're mixes of expression. They're the best collections for me. You know, if you walk into a place and it's all Sideshow or all XM, because I do believe that you have a signature. All companies have a bit of a signature, a bit of an MO, and you can sort of know. You look at one piece and you're like, I know that's Sideshow. Look at this piece, I know that's XM. You know, you have a little bit of a hint for those things.
You're not saying, and Ben, they hate me for this, right? But if they go to my house, you know, I don't display a single XM. I only display my and they're always like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? You're supposed to like your own stuff. It's like, no, I like a lot of other brands. No, not a problem, right? I mean, that's the whole thing. Everybody's got their own style. You like different things. There's no reason to like one and then the other one's got to go, right? So my main collection is actually PCS. I got a few Sideshow, really good ones, and I'm really digging a lot of P1 stuff. But at the moment in Singapore, our house is really small. I can't afford the no space for the 1/3 scale stuff. But I'm really tempted. I also
you went to the con, didn't you? You went to the con, and you were. I watched a lot of your videos and a lot of your Facebook stuff, and you were really blown away by some of the Prime 1 stuff.
I am. It's really good, and you know, and then they got a great guy.
I mean, I think some of the stuff's amazing.
It's amazing, and Kevin Lowe is a great guy. He's pushing a lot of the brand. He's doing a lot of good social coverage and everything. And John Pham, the guy that you know, he walks me through all the designs. He's a great guy as well. I think it's all good. It's funny though.
I think that's what's amazing though, Brian. Is I think that people think that it's the collectors who fight over, you know, that get all tribal and are like Team XM, Team this, Team that. They would be really surprised to know that actually the companies are nothing like that. For example, when we were in Singapore and we went, you know, you would say to us, do you want to come out for dinner or you want to come out for lunch? And we'd say, no, we're going out with Connecticut, or we're going out with somebody else, or Ryu, or you know, you'd be like, oh, and you'd all be together. It wasn't, do you understand what I mean? It was a lot. I expected, even personally, I expected there to be more tension than there was. It didn't exist. Everyone was really friendly, and people going over each other's stalls with their arms around each other. I saw you numerous times telling Connecticut's and telling Ryu and telling other people, oh yeah, change this, or why don't we do this, and helping with their ideas. I thought that was fantastic.
You're missing out the coolest motherfucker from the show. You can't miss out Mafuzal.
Oh yeah,
yeah, exactly. But you were over at each other's stalls, sharing ideas, and it was a beautiful thing to see. Because when you've not been in this environment yourself, and you've never been there, I think you'd have thought that they don't like each other. Everyone's taking off each other's plate. But I didn't feel that when I was there, which was nice for me personally.
I think that's the whole thing about it, right? I mean, the market is small. I mean, there's always room for everybody to learn and grow and collaborate. So that's kind of the model we're looking for. And yeah, I'm glad you actually felt that when you were here. I think I brought you around different stalls and even asked you to take a video for them and help promote their products. It's all cool, right? That's the whole thing about. So you know what? I think it's. We've covered a lot about the questions. I've actually covered all the questions that I've gotten. There's only one that I'm not sure how I'm going to answer it. Have I ever drank Baileys from a shoe? Is this like a 50
well,
shades
you've
of...
not lived if you haven't done that, Brian.
Or is it the funky old Greg dude with a mangina thing? Some British comedy.
Say that again. Was the funky old
Greg dude with a mangina? He's a mangina. It's like some old comedy stuff from.
You've been watching too much Silence of the Lambs, Brian. Stay off Silence of the Lambs, man.
So what is this drink Baileys from a shoe about? You guys explain to me.
Don't ask me for. The questions come from all over the world, Brian. That's not an English thing.
No.
Okay, I hope it's not. It could be an English thing.
Yeah, it's not
so
something.
I've never done that. I've never drunk Baileys from a shoe. But if it's meant to be something sexual, then I'm willing to give it a go, right? Okay.
You've added it to your bucket list, yeah?
Yes.
I don't do it if it was from Sanctuary.
So I think what we should do now for your viewers, right? Instead of all the stuff that I've just been reading off the answers, which could get a little bit dry after a while. I think it's time to show your viewers some of the sneak peeks, visuals, and images of what's upcoming.
Right. I'm going to be a cockblocker,
yes, do it.
And I'm going to say, actually, I've got a few more questions I've been writing down, so you can wait. You're not the fucking director. Remember, Brian, you're the fucking guest, okay?
Yeah, don't take over our show, bitch.
Damn it. Right, so a lot of people have been asking about the Green Goblin. What's going on with that?
Oh, Green Goblin, let me see. Okay, Green Goblin is I've seen I think internally, when we were about to launch it, we saw some of the other products by other producers out on the market as well at the same time, and we kind of decided, look, we don't want to kind of come at the same time, and also that the original design we had, it didn't kind of work out for us internally. So we went back to kind of look at how we can tweak it again. So as of now, the update is that there is a kind of a final 3D file that we've done internally. I wouldn't say who, but there's two groups, right? So one group thing is good enough to go. The other group says, no, I think we still got to kind of like tweak it a little bit more. So the real answer will be, if let's say someone's asking me, when can they see that? I would like to say we are planning and scheduling it for STGCC to show it. Okay, there's a chance that it might not make it in time because personally, I think it can still be improved. But if all things go smoothly and I get my way, then yeah, we will show it at STGCC. If not, by my own personal opinion, I think it's better that we give something that we feel is best out. So so the earliest you'll see it is STGCC. If not, just a couple of months away from that. Yeah, that's the max we will drag.
Cool. Alex, what else?
All right. So that was that one. Someone asked about, would you ever consider doing a Captain Marvel?
Captain Marvel? Yes.
Okay.
Which one? Female or male? Which one?
I don't know. They just
that's
the
Marvel, isn't it?
They said Captain Marvel, Captain Marvel, and not Shazam, not the DC Marvel thing. They just said are you considering a Marvel Captain Marvel? They didn't say. They just said that. So, yeah. Okay. That was the easy answer.
We did a Captain Marvel, but I think ours is the female version.
Yeah, you did Miss Marvel ages ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone's saying, are you planning on doing any adjustments to the brown Wolverine's belt?
The belt?
Yeah. I don't know. That's what someone's just written.
That one. What kind of adjustments are we talking about?
I don't know. They seem to think the belt's off. I don't know.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've heard that before. So a couple of people have just said that they think the belt. I think because of the way it's been shown in black and white, a lot of the times the belt stands out and looks a little large. So maybe it looks quite big. But I think a lot of it is because it's black and white, and you've done the belt, like the buckle around the belt, like in silver. So it really it stands out quite a lot. So I don't know if it's just the way the picture is done. I have to see it when it's fully painted.
It could be because of the render, but it's hard to say.
Yeah. I'm not looking into that, right? I mean, I don't think we would intentionally make the belt larger than it should be. There's no reason to, but I'll check it out. I mean, it's first time I've heard.
any update on this Mr. Sinister update as well?
Oh, that's a good one for me. Come on, make Mr. Sinister. Get him out here.
Oh yeah, we did say we're going to make him, and I think we are planning for him to be shown at SDGCC as well.
Yes.
Okay. What is so the next one is with the popularity of Deadpool, what's happening with Deadpool?
Deadpool. Oh, I don't have the latest update for that. I know we reworked it 2 times, and yeah, I don't have an answer for that. I'll have to check it now.
It's a hard one, that one, because that's another one like Harley Quinn. To get the balance between savage and comedy and jokey and serious is very difficult. He's a hard character to get, to be honest. He's another concept that's difficult, I think.
Yeah, I mean, all I can say is that we're definitely making him, because I've seen at least two different digital sculpts of him already in house. I think it's just like you said, it's a bit difficult getting the balance, and I guess we're kind of like moving on with other projects and still working on him in the background. Right? Yeah.
Okay. I've just found out who was asking about Stilt Man. It was fucking Brandon again.
Silence that fucker up, yeah.
Brandon Guerrero. If I see you again, I'm going to push you again. Okay. Someone's actually raised a very good point, which was a point that came up before about this is the last one, and then we'll go into your pictures. With your bases, you've decided now to kind of shrink the bases down. We saw this with the like Mystique one recently, and a few of the others.
A little bit, yeah.
Would you like to mention anything about that, or?
Yeah. Well, actually, in one of the pictures, I'll kind of explain it and run through what we decided to do. Yeah.
Groovy.
Let's get on to the shares, man. I want the exclusive. Let's go.
All right, so these are going to be the exclusive picks if I can do that. Oh, that's the wrong pictures. I don't want that folder.
Right.
Don't put Pornhub up.
Yeah.
So
are you gonna share it?
Right, we don't need it coming on the screen.
Yeah.
So Alex, do you want to share, or you want me to share it? Just now I could share it on the screen.
No, I'm doing it. Remember, you're the guest, so you sit there and
look pretty.
I'll get them up.
There.
Yeah, look pretty. So
and prepare yourself, Alex, to completely mess up your photos.
No, I did them in the number order he gave them to me. So
okay, good luck with that.
So the first one is going to be the cyborg.
Yeah.
So okay.
Yeah, so there's in the questions people are asking, what are we gonna do with the DC line, the 1/6 line? So here is a look at an approved concept and design that we're gonna do with the 1/6 scale DC line, the classic line.
Sorry, the pictures are gone, haven't it? Dagnammit.
We should just let Bryan take control of this. You fucked this up. You know what I mean? That Superman haircut. Cut that little strand of the fucking hair off. You don't deserve to wear it.
All right, tell me if you can see the pictures then.
I can see them. I'll put them on the middle screen, but I can see them.
Okay. You can see that, yeah?
I can see them, yeah. Yes, I can see them.
All right, so I'm not touching anything else then. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, carry on. Sorry.
No problem. So so this is so we're gonna do the Justice League, all of them, and I won't be showing Superman and Batman and Wonder Woman for now, but I'll be showing Cyborg. And you can see there's going to be other characters. But right now, we talk about Cyborg. This is how the concept is going to be like. He's going to have a lot of, shiny armor and metal parts about him. So this is Cyborg as an approved concept we're going to develop. Now, maybe we can have a look at the next one.
Crazy.
Yeah. Right, let me zoom down a bit because it's, there you go. So next one.
Yeah. So you will start to see that for the 1/4 scale stuff, we're going to be cutting down the size of the bases. But with the 1/6, we have a little bit more creative space now, right? But what we want to do is for the 1/6 scale, we want to have the characters interact with the environment a little bit more, or show off their abilities a little bit more. So with Aquaman, he's going to be sitting on top of a seahorse and looking all majestic. So this is the concept.
So cool.
Can I just interrupt? So did you say before, I don't think we were actually on the chat, but did you say DC will be worldwide licensed 1/6?
Yes, we'll be worldwide licensed. Yes.
Okay, That's just what people have wanted
to know. That's exciting.
That's quite important to mention, Brian.
Yeah, it's an important thing to bring up, Brian.
Yeah. So you could see that the direction we're going is not the like the museum style kind of standing there, because it's 1/6. We can get a little bit creativity in terms of the base and the surroundings. Like you can see Aquaman, we might even sculpt the fish swimming around the pillars.
So what realistically here you're talking about is these will almost be close to looking like quarter scale in total size because of because of the bases and the environments and things like that you're looking to bring into it. They'll be quite big pieces, these.
No, the intention is not to make them as big as a 1/4 scale, probably about 2/3 the size of it, around there.
Yeah.
It's going to be smaller than 1/4 scale, but it's going to have a lot more details in it, right? So we can look at the next one as well.
What you got to remember is normally a 1/6 scale character, just the character, is normally about 12 inches.
Yes.
Yeah. So like then if you
looking at that Aquaman, I'm thinking that Aquaman's going to be around about 20.
So then if you have like a quarter scale statue, they're normally probably about 17, 18, 19, somewhere like that, the figure.
Yeah, but remember, you see, if you have a quarter scale, you put them on a base, and you know the 1/6 scale, even though we're going to put on the base, but we're still going to amend the base. Like for instance, you look at the Joker, right? We're not going to make the clown head he's standing on that big. It's going to be a bit more submerged into the ground. So this is just 2D concepts, and at 3D stage we will still kind of tweak them, but we don't intend to make them as big as 1/4 scale. That defeats the purpose. But what we want to do is, instead of just having a 1/6 kind of a smaller statue, and people think, hey, it's just 1/6, I still want a 1/4. We're trying to say, hey, the 1/6 can be cool if you have a lot of elements to show a lot more story. So this one for Joker, he's actually stepping out like of a giant, crazy clown-ass robot, right? And we're even looking at making the little, teeth biting things workable as well. So that's the So this is the Joker one. You can start to see that the range of the 1/6 line is quite different. That's how we want it to be, compared to the market kind of offerings right now. Let's see the next one as well. I think the next one will give you a good idea as well, right? So this is Green Lantern, and he's gonna be showing off, his ability to construct weapons and show off his powers, right? So this is the Green Lantern.
Yep. Do you want to go next one?
We would pull this off in 1/4 scale. It just wouldn't work. But in 1/6 scale, we can. I think that's the point. The 1/6 scale gives giving us a lot more creative freedom as well.
I guess you've got so much more. You've got so much more real estate when you've built statues at you've built statues at quarter scale that are huge. So 1/6, you can really sort of fill a decent amount of space with all this environment and stuff like that. I mean, I'm loving the construct there. Looks great.
Yeah. Next one would be the Flash. So the Flash, it's we had a bit of a trouble and a debate over this one, because anybody who does a Flash statue, he's just going to be doing the same thing, which is running. For us, we want to make sure that when he runs, he's faster than anyone else, faster than Quicksilver, faster than anyone else on the planet, even the Superman, right? And he's the only guy who could run into the time, back in time or forward in time. So to show so the best environment for us was to give him he runs on this equipment. It's like a treadmill. Part on it. So he uses that as a device to enhance his speed, to achieve his speed to go through time. And so this is the concept. So it wouldn't just be him running, but there will be his effects, his lightning around him, showing him at that speed level. So this is, again, I don't think we've ever seen this in statue form. So I think it's unique enough. So this is kind of
good idea.
A general lineup for a range of the DC stuff that we're going to do in 1/6 scale. Now we can have a sneak peek at something I think a lot of X-Men fans will like.
Ooh. Ready? There you go.
Yeah, man. Professor X.
Professor X, right? I don't think there's a lot of 1/4 scale statues. I don't think there's one. Is there any? But
there's a couple of customs, but there's no licensed ones.
Oh, right. Okay. So what we want to do with this is that he's often depicted in either a more modern style, like Jim Lee would show him in this kind of in hover chair, right? More modern. But in some other designs, he might be on a more kind of a retro looking old hospital wheelchair, right? So we were kind of thinking about the base issue here. A lot of people are starting to say that the bases are getting too big and too unmanageable. Now, if we were to put both the chair options into one box, the box is going to be huge. It's going to cost a lot to ship. And I think he's an A-lister character, but he's not quite the same level as I would say Magneto, right? So in terms of popularity, I'm not quite sure he's going to sell as much. So what we're going to do is reduce the shipping and the cost of acquiring this piece. So what we're going to do is break him into two options for people to choose from. So you can either get him in this version where he's more modern with Cerebro, or if you go to the next this is another view.
Oh, sorry, that's just another view. So you got his hand down there, and then you got his hand up.
So this is just a switch up options for his pose, right? So this is still very modernized, still very hovercraft with computer screens. Now the next picture will be.
I just want to say that this is quarter scale now. And this isn't worldwide license, so I just want to throw that in there because we've switched from the DC, which was, and
and then the next one is the next picture is the classic, yeah,
and this is the classic one, the one on the classic wheelchair. You see a lot more of his suit, and I think in this setup he's a little bit more, I guess, more emotional and more, because he's not going to show a lot of technology here. So this will be what I call a cheaper, in terms of cost, he'll be cheaper to produce because it doesn't have as much pieces. So for price point, as a collector, you could choose which one would you prefer. You want a cheaper shipping, smaller package, a more traditional look, or you want a more modern one with a bigger box. We are giving these options out.
Are both going to have that Magneto helmet though?
Huh?
Are both going to have that switch out of the Magneto head?
No, because if you notice, right, the modern version has a Cerebro head helmet.
Yeah.
To the chair. So for the retro version, we had to give him something special, so he's not just too plain. So he's the one. The retro version will be holding the Magneto helmet.
I like.
Right. What about if, for example, I wanted both?
Are you going to do a combo pack or like the reduced price?
Well, actually, it's a good point. I think we've seen some comments on if someone wants to buy both versions, will we be able to kind of bundle it with a more more cost-effective bundling together? I think it's a great idea. We haven't kind of discussed on pricing yet and how we're going to do this because we're still kind of like trying to optimize the box sizes to make sure that they have two different price points and so. But I think it's a great idea if for people who wants to buy both pieces, we'll work out a special deal so that they could acquire both at a lower rate than if they were to buy individually one of them. So I think that's a good point.
Cool. They look great. I really like them. Actually, it's funny enough, I thought I'd like the wheelchair version. All right, so you get switch out. Is that going to probably be a switch out arm, or is that a whole switch out torso?
Arm. Switch out arm, just by the seams, right? And I might just add as well, because they're the same kind of Professor X, so the arms can be interchanged as well. So, for instance, if you buy both versions, you could swap the one with holding the Magneto helmet into the Cerebro scene if you want.
That's a great idea. Yeah, I like that.
Okay, so that is the Professor X. Let's see. The next one would be.
There you go.
It's a Pink Ranger.
Pink Ranger, yeah. I think this, especially for one of the Singapore Power Ranger fans, Jan Ong, is always interested at how we're moving along with our Power Rangers. So this is the Pink Ranger concept. It's been approved. I think they're dynamic. They're going to look cool together, all 5 colors. So far, we're already working on the 3D sculpt. In fact, if you look at the render, it's based on kind of 3D sculpt as well. And I think we're going to be producing it and printing it and getting it colored definitely in time for SDGCC, hopefully. And we'll show it off then. But this is the second piece. Then follow after this will be the White Ranger.
Cool. Okay.
Dynamic. That's nice.
The next one then.
This one is the favorite, right? So people have been asking us about Guardians of the Galaxy, right? And Now, if you look at this one, you'll notice it's not the movie version. As you're aware, XM is very much into comics and
closing
a comic version costume, right? And as a result, we had to rework on our Good and Rocket a little bit to have, because in that comic they wear kind of similar costume. Like this is a blue costume.
God.
Oh, that's good.
So what is that? That's one of the images.
That's the one I want to work in 1/4 scale, life-size scale. Yeah.
God.
So wait a minute, we're the bushwhackers. We're the fucking bushwhackers, are we? I know my wrestling, Brian. Don't think you can throw some shit pictures at my hand. I mean, not know what the fuck you're up to. Fucking bushwhackers. If we're anything with a Legion of Doom, bitch, don't give me that bushwhacker shit. Put some spikes on me and give me a better outfit. For fuck's sake.
I'm trying to zoom out. They won't let me zoom out of this now.
Just leave the Star-Lord up for a minute, because I'm taking all this in.
I'm trying to zoom out.
Stop. I can see it fine. Stop messing about with it. So what we've got there, we've got a few switch outs. Yeah, we've got a few switch outs on the top here. What are they? What we got? Interchangeable arm, gun up, gun down. So the arm switches. Do we have any help? We can have any head changes, Brian?
For this one, at the moment, we didn't plan for that, because we actually did get a bit of feedback that most people don't really display the unmasked head version because the mask is just too cool. So yeah, at the moment, we're not planning to have the unmasked head. But if there's a lot of demand for it,
there's a couple of masks though, isn't there, Brian? There's a couple of masks for that character. You've got a couple for Star-Lord in the comics. You've got like a modernized version and sort of like one maybe where he has the same sort of thing, but maybe his hair is out and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it just covers his face, like the bottom part. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm loving I love the pose and the base. I like it a lot.
Yeah. Well, but let me just also clear it up, right? This is one of the more kind of updated designs, but we are still looking at changing the base slightly smaller as well to make it all more compact. And as we said, nowadays with a lot of market out there, a lot of products out there, I think space is becoming an issue. So we're gonna try, where possible, where it's not needed to have a huge base, we're gonna streamline it. So this is not the final yet, but I think it's good to just sneak peek of what we're doing right now. Yeah.
Cool. Looks great.
And the last one is just a secret project, right? I mean, like, what are we gonna do? So we're gonna do a 1-to-1 scale bushwhacker edition of the RaddTitan.
The funny thing is, Alex looks incredibly pleased with himself there. He's just got a look on his face. He's very happy. I think we clearly won. That's for sure.
Yeah, and I'm actually the guys behind you guys trying to calm you guys down, right? You can see that, right?
That's right, man. Listen, at the end of the day, I don't think this picture will help our dick riding reputation, but we'll definitely consider.
You never know, right? If you put that on a poll, and people might say make like 200 pieces, and we'll make them.
Listen, if you're making that, I demand that we're Legion of Doom. I can't be the bushwhackers. Fuck me, I can't have
but
that.
If you make it, does that mean we're going to get like number 1001 and 1002?
Yes,
of those?
no, they're the only ones I want.
S1 and S2.
Yeah. All right. So that's all the images and things. So yeah. So I mean, is there anything else you want to bring up there, or?
No, I mean that's kind of the amount that I can show at the moment right now.
Sorry, someone says with that that statue's not going to work because Gio doesn't have any sleeves on that to roll up because he spends all his time.
You need to. That's why. Yeah, it's definitely true.
Commodore 64 is saying
a poll on it and see if we can get maybe 150 pieces. I think if it's 150 pieces, we can make it.
Someone's saying you should be doing a Blade Runner statue. You should get Blade Runner license.
Really? What, based on the movie or what?
Well, I don't know. They just said Blade Runner. I'm assuming it'll be the original. Quite surprised
that you make Blade.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised that wasn't a comment from Rob Newbury. Normally he would say that, but someone else.
I think they meant Blade, the Wesley Snipes, the vampire killer.
No. This says XM should get the Blade Runner license.
No, the film is shit anyway. I just watched the first one, and I still haven't been able to watch the second half of it. Fucking shit film. The worst thing is, I just bought the Steelbook as well. I just bought the new one, the Blade Runner 2049, and it's it's still fucking sealed.
I've seen it. I don't think you'll like it, but I enjoyed the the feel of it. It was the images were nice, the sound was nice, but it was a bit drawn out.
Are you going to, Brian? Are you going to make a blade? Will you make a blade? Is it in your ideas?
No, it's it's not on the list. But I know I've seen not a lot, but I've seen a couple of requests for making blade.
Yeah, there's a few just
not Snipes.
There's
comic
a few
version.
just pop up.
The comic version, yeah, not Snipes, yeah. But yeah, I've gotten a few requests to do it, but it's not a lot, to be honest. I think maybe 4 or 5, that's max. And yeah, if there's not a lot of popularity, then probably not.
Yeah.
You get them 600 requests in.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing is, I mean, like, there's so many. The market is so saturated at the moment with all these license companies or companies coming up. It's like you switch on Facebook every day, and there's like a new license company saying,
"Here's
my
customs."
Custom. So that's a bit customs.
Customs. So many
like custom company, like custom people coming up going, I've made a da-da-da. You're like, every single day there's like a new one, and there's some guy just come out of nowhere who's just like released like 40 POs of custom projects, and it's crazy. It's just like, you know, there's sometimes it's like where you're as a company and you have all those restrictions, and then they just come in and go, all right, well, we're just going to make what the fuck we like. We're going to make it how we like. And that obviously must cut off quite a lot of time not having to deal with Disney. And like saying, well, our start to finish time is going to be 6 months. But if you get it from someone like Sideshow or someone like XM who has to play it, you know, by the game, you know, you're waiting a year and a half. So it's like, yeah, how do you compete with that sometimes?
Oh, it's tough, right? Like, for example, one of the biggest example, best case study is that we can't touch Fantastic Four right now. We can't do Silver Surfer or Doctor Doom, and this everybody wants them, but we can't. And guess what? Customs people are just making loads and loads of this, right? Because they can. So yeah, it kind of sucks, but then again, it's just part of the parcel, right? If you play the game with the licensed way, you got to go with the licensed style, and you know, no, I think
I'd love to see an XM Doom.
I do. I mean, I respect the artists who work on the custom stuff. You know, from a work perspective, everything else looks good. They've got good sculpting skills, and there's nothing to take away from that, right? But in terms of, I guess the good thing about I'll say the benefit about having a licensed one is that, you know, because it's licensed, we won't get into trouble with, say, having the shipment of the products stopped halfway, and I think recently there was maybe a custom piece that was stopped customs, and people were saying that I think the customs guys were saying this can't be allowed because it's not authentic product, and I think you know, with the amount of customs that's happening right now, it is not for producers like us to step in and say anything, because a lot of the artists we use, they make customs as well, right? And I think it's really
this is an argument, Brian, that, you know, a lot of people don't seem to understand, that you can't. It's the chicken and the egg argument, bro. You don't have a Daniel Bell. You don't have a Daniel Bell Captain America without a Daniel Bell Sentry. You don't have, you know what I mean? It just doesn't exist. You know, all of them started trying to make things, and that's what gets people noticed. And there's no other way to do it. There's no other way. You have to go out and make your projects and get a name for yourself and get seen. And hopefully you get picked up by a reputable license company who want you to do projects for them. And that will keep you going. You know, sadly, that's how it is. We wouldn't have some of the amazing artists we have working for the big companies we have today without that. It wouldn't exist. So, you know, it's a hard pill for some people to swallow, but it's true.
It is true. It is true. I think as with all things, right, it's all about the balance, right? You know, if it's too much of it, then it's bad. If it's a nice balance of it.
I think at the moment, you're seeing that letter that came out and them stopping things at customs. I think that's the only next move that's going to happen. They'll have to be stringent and more strict, because there is a lot more unlicensed products now than there have ever been. And there are a lot of people taking huge amounts of risk, doing huge projects with big big edition size numbers, taking big risks. And the only way you're going to stop that is by kicking someone's ass. That's what happens. Someone will get caught, and then when they do, they'll be fined so fucking badly it will cripple them. It will break.
I heard apparently in one of those situations, the person went to go pick up their statue, and they got kind of questioned about where it's from, who made it, what's this, what's that, and the guy's response was, "It's from Sideshow," and they gave it to him.
That's the idea. That's a good argument.
He just like played dumb.
That's smart.
Played dumb. Said,
that's a smart guy.
Sideshow. It's a Sideshow Silver Surfer. I ordered it from blah blah blah. You know what? And then they gave it back to him. Apparently, that's what happened. I want to say something else as well. Sorry, I heard. Well, actually, I was speaking to, I think it was Sang about it, but we heard a name that you might be approached for doing some sculpting, which we were quite excited about to kind of see. So we are looking forward to Aaron Ray Perez doing some work for you. That would be.
You do not pay attention when I speak. I tried to get out of him, but he did the zip lip thing.
No, well, it was confirmed to me by one of the XM boys. So yeah, that was.
That's for me. That's a great.
What was saying? He's.
Listen, that's a great acquisition. Let me tell you. Geezer's an absolute genius. That is an unbelievable acquisition. If you can get him to do a project for you, because he is an exceptional talent. And you do, in fairness, you do pick him. I mean, I'm a big fan of Caleb's work. I'm a big fan, of a lot of people, Daniel Bell, that you've used. So I think you've got the right eye. So I'm really pleased. I'm glad anyway. I'm really glad with that Prairie. So hopefully that happens, because I would like that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to all the other cool stuff as well. I think today's session it's really nice. It's my first time being on any live chat with friends and then answering questions. I hope I've managed to give information to people who's asked them. And like I said, I'm gonna type all this down and I'm gonna send it to you guys. So you guys can just
we've been talking about doing it for a while. I mean, when we went to Singapore, we sat down with you. We said, "Yeah, we'll get you on. We'll do this. We'll do that." And then it's just like, because we normally do it so ad hoc, we never really plan it. And then we just thought perfect timing with all the drama to get you on and use it as an excuse.
The thing is that know what I mean. There is so many. Listen, there's so many people that would, with what recently happened, that would have not agreed to come on here. They would have turned around and give it 2 weeks. Come back to me in a month when this is all forgotten. It's all yesterday's news about anything. And I think it shows the sort of character that you are, and in general, the XM are, that have allowed you to come on and basically, we've asked you questions that are not scripted, that are not on any, you've been put under the cosh, and I think you behaved admirably well. We had the owners from PCS on here, the same thing. Didn't give them any heads up or any idea at all, and just bombarded them with stuff. And it's just how we like to do it, because at the end of the day, it's the only way that things get done. But I think, to be honest with you, you did a great job, Brian. Really good job, man.
I just want to throw one more comment in.
Sorry, fucking little girl. What's your problem?
Someone responded to the comment about us being in bed with XM, and Sang put a comment on there saying, "I wake up every day with Alex Thomas on my left and Gio on my right." Yawn.
Thanks, mate. You can always rely on Odd Job to just help situations out perfectly well, can't you? Fucker.
All right. Thanks for coming on, Brian.
To have you on. I'm really pleased that you popped on, Brian, and I'm glad, man. So thanks for giving us the time and some exclusives there. It was an honor, my brother. Thank you.
So yeah, we tried to get everything covered that people posted, but I'm not really good at multitasking. I've got my notepad. Brian had his notes. I had Facebook, chat, everything. I had like about 20 screens open at the same time. So I hope we covered everything. I hope you enjoyed it.
I just had a coffee.
Well, I had a coffee. I had some chicken. I had a jack of potato, which I was scoffing on in the background. But anyway, so yeah, no, great. Thanks for watching, guys, and let's leave it there then.
Hey, wait, yes. Just one last thing from me, right? I mean, it's the first time I'm on this chat, and I want to pick a random RaddTitan guy you know, to say something to, right? And I've picked this guy, Mr. Gary Speed.
Oh God, what did Gary say now?
It's my personal message to you, right? So when you visited Singapore, we had a lot of fun together. We went out for great food, and we had our moments. And I knew it from the way you looked at me. You wanted more than friendship. But I'm married, Gary. So I just want to say we can only be friends. But come to Singapore soon, will you?
So we have to say the same thing. All of us. We have to say the same thing for Gary most of the time. I mean, he comes around and yeah, we have to tell him. We have to say, Gary,
he's out there.
Sorry.
You know, he's out watching from his holidays in Fuerteventura. He's out in the sunshine. Yeah, we're -6. We're in the snow, and he's out in the beach. The motherfucker.
Yeah.
At least he's committed.
Rob is there, right? Rob Newberry. I'm gonna, meet him for dinner next Monday. So thanks for watching, Rob.
All right. So, and thanks for watching. If Leo's watching, thank you for watching, Leo. You can't. Anyway, let's stop meds, bro. Yeah, good luck. Hope they recalibrate those meds for you. All right. So, thanks, guys.
All right. Thanks.
So we are off there. You wait there. There you go.